Dear Naruto Lemon fans, I'm thrilled to invite all of you to my Boosty channel, where you can enjoy exclusive Naruto Lemon scenes in a comfortable and supportive community. Choose from various subscription tiers, from Mini Lemon to God Lemon, and gain access to unique content tailored just for our fans. Plus, subscribers to over Naruto Lemon and God Lemon will receive special mentions in my videos. Support my channel and dive deeper into the world of Naruto today. Dare! The world come to an end, the bodies littered the battlefield, the ground stained with blood of many shinobi and kunoichi. In midst of this, the only one that is still breathing is sitting on the ground beside the core of his friends and comrades. This person has golden blonde hair and deep cerulean eyes with whisker mark on his cheek. This person is none other than Naruto Uzumaki Jinchuriki of Nine Tails Fox Kurama, and apparently the last shinobi. Now Naruto looking around in sadness when he heard his best friend's Kurama asked, "Kit?" To which Naruto replied, "What is it, Kurama?" as his voice sound tired and broken, person not the jovial tone he had in the past, and the reason being the result of this war, because even though he managed to defeat Madara, but for what cost? His friends are dead, his village is destroyed, and now he is alone in the world. Kurama can feel the sadness of his host and knew he is depressed and felt sympathy for him and asked with concern, "Kid, are you okay?" To which Naruto sighed and said, "No, I am not okay, Kurama. I mean, look around us, everyone and everything dead. Whether it's shinobi, kunoichi, civilian or animals, we lost the war, we failed to protect everyone, I failed to protect everyone, sure I managed to beat Madara, but at what cost?" Kurama stayed silent for the duration Naruto has ranted and waited patiently for Naruto to calm down. He knew what Naruto is telling is true. The battle are devastating and forced every shinobi village, major or minor, to took part in the war to defeat the madman named Madara, so the shinobi system didn't fell, but nothing work again, and now they are the only one that left alive to drown in despair as his host waited for his time to come to an end, but he will not let him drown his only friend into despair, so he said, "Naruto, there is a jutsu that we can use to travel back in time and save them." As Naruto hear this, his eye widen and jaw hang open, and he asked, Why, you saying we can time travel?" To which Kurama said, "Yeah kid, we can, but the catch is I don't know what time we will land, and it's a one-time thing, so you have to trade carefully, and another thing is that if we land in a timeline where either Mito or Kushina is alive and my Jinchuriki, then I have to leave you because my chakra and consciousness will merge with that version of me, but don't worry, even if I have to leave, I will leave you half of my chakra and the fox summoning contract as a gift." To which Naruto smiled sadly but nodded his head. Yeah, he is sad that there is very much a high chance that he will still be the Jinchuriki, but also has a high chance that he will lose his friend, but what he can do anyway, so he sighed and said, "Okay then, let's do this," earning a nod from Kurama, who said, "First enter the mindscape so you can sign the fox summoning contract." Hearing this, Naruto nod his head and enter his mindscape, where the great Nine Tails Fox bring out the scroll of fox summoning contract, and Naruto signed it. After that, Kurama said, "Okay then, when you go back in past, summon a fox and share your memories with them, they will accept you and help you anyway they can," earning a nod from Naruto. Kurama then said, "Okay kid, do these hand signs for the jutsu while I will control the amount of chakra sat needed for the jutsu." To which Naruto nodded and then started the hand signs, and a huge chakra started to leak out of Naruto, and soon Naruto finished the signs and said, "Space-time, ghost of the past," and then he vanished in the bright flash. In Konoha at Hokage office, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, is having hard time like always, tried to complete the bane of every Kage's the paperwork, but it never ended, more like it is increased every time he take his eye from them, and as he completing it, a boar-masked Umbu come barging in his office and report, "Hokage-sama, we found someone injured near the village gate and bear brought him to the hospital, and I decide to inform you and ask for your order." Hearing this, Hiruzen said, "Lead me to him," and stand up, and they both go towards hospital. When they reached the hospital, he saw two of his Umbu guarding the room, and the person they found are inside. When they saw him, they bowed and greet him, to which Hiruzen nodded and opened the door and saw a blonde-haired man with 3 whisker-like mark on each cheek laying on the hospital bed. When he looked at the man he felt a familiar feeling but confused as to why. The man looked to be in his mid-20s and he had to admit the man is quite handsome, but what is bugging the professor is that he feel that there's someone he knew has familiarity with this man. Then he remembered that there is someone that almost have same feature in the village who is none other than Namake's Minato. The boy is orphan with his mother died for childbirth while they didn't know who the father is, they just know his father's last name. Maybe this man is the boy's father that they tried to find. Hiruzen then turned to his umbu and ordered, I need you to do a blood test on this man. I want to see if he had any relative in the village. When he is awake report to me immediately. Understood, showing the leadership in him. The umbu bowed to him, showing they understood and left Hiruzen with unconscious Naruto in the room. Hiruzen then looked at Naruto for some time and then he used Shunshin to left the hospital room. Few hours later. It's been 4 hours. Naruto brought to the hospital in Konoha and he has been unconscious still, but soon he groaned as he started to regain consciousness. Seeing this, a nurse informed the umbu outside the room and one of them Shunshin to get the Hokage, who as soon as heard that the man they brought to the hospital waking up left towards hospital. While this is going on, Naruto woke up in the hospital and groaned and thought, great hospital. Then he paused for a moment and thought, wait, hospital, then the jutsu was success, but how far in the past I traveled? As Naruto is racking his brain to find out which timeline he had landed, the door of his room opened and came in a much younger Hiruzen. From the Hiruzen Naruto remembered, and seeing the third Hokage again, Naruto tear up but control himself. Reaching to the bed, Hiruzen asked, hello young man, how are you feeling? To which Naruto answered, I am feeling alright Hokage-sama, but can you tell me which year is it? Which confuses Hiruzen, but nonetheless he answered, it's the 326th year of the Nin. Then he asked, what's your name young man? Naruto then give him a small smile and said, I am Naruto sir. Then his expression became serious and he asked, Hokage-sama, can I have a private audience with you? I have some important information to tell you about, and for that I want all of the umbu in this room out, said Naruto seriously while looking at Sarutobi in the eye, who was shocked that this person before him can detect his guard that been hiding their chakra easily, and then he became serious and ordered his guard out of the room, who tried to protest but complied when they are subjected to third Hokage's glare. Sarutobi then activate the privacy seal to prevent anything to come in the room or prevent anyone from eavesdropping. Then he looked towards Naruto, who took a deep breath and said, let me properly introduce myself. I am Naruto Uzumaki, Namake's, the third Jinchuriki of Nine-Tailed Fox and sixth Hokage of Konoha, as well as Supreme Commander of Allied Shinobi Force from the future. With a serious tone, but when Sarutobi heard this he at first was shocked and then he became doubtful at what he heard from this stranger, that claiming that he came from the future, so he asked, what proof you have that you are from the future? Time travel is impossible, to which Naruto hold out his hand and said, fist bump with me and I will show you my memories. Sarutobi hesitantly fist bumped Naruto because he think it's a trap, but his heart says to trust this young man, so he did just that, and as soon as he took Naruto's hand everything went blank for a moment. Then he saw himself at the Hokage office look much older than he is now. He then saw little Naruto on his lap while he read a story book for the boy. The grandfather-grandson relationship that he had with the boy. Then scenery changed to Naruto graduated from the academy in unorthodox way and being placed in Team 7, the scenery change again to the day of Chunin exam, then to Suna Oto invasion led by his student Orochimaru. His death by using Reaper Death Seal to seal away first two Hokage as well as Orochimaru's arm, Tsunade becoming fifth Hokage. The training trip, the Akatsuki and their motive, death of his student, Pain invasion, Naruto becoming hero to the village, and then the scenery keep changing like various moment of fourth great ninja war and its result, what they lost, the world littered by bodies and blood. The last thing he saw Naruto use the time travel jutsu. After that he's back to the hospital room. Hiruzen then looked towards Naruto, who keep looking at the window where the view of the village can be seen, and now he take a look at Naruto. He saw the sorrow, the hopelessness, sadness, grief in said young man's eyes. Naruto, called Hiruzen with concern, and Naruto turned towards him and gave a sad smile and declare, it's okay Gigi. I know my friends are gone and they are not coming back, but still I came back in the past so that I can fix everything and save everyone, and that is all I needed. And slowly his sad smile turned to happy grin. As Hiruzen heard those words, he became proud that his surrogate grandson became like this, even though he grew up neglected, abused, and hated by this same village, and it pained him that his village is actually filled with such cruel person. He is proud that Naruto is such kind-hearted person and always forgive the villagers for their transgression. Well, Naruto, we need to arrange a cover story for you to live in the village, otherwise the council will get suspicious about your whereabouts, and I got a good idea of what we should do. But first, said Hiruzen, and Naruto already saw this facial expression many times on said old man's face that he became cautious and asked, "What are you plotting right now, old man? I know that face, and it's always something no good," as he narrowed his eyes, but Hiruzen gave a smirk in response and asked, "What kind of relationship you share with Minato Namikaze?" To which Naruto raised an eyebrow and said, "You know very well from my memory what kind of relationship I have with him, but if you forgot in case he is my father." Then he paused for a moment and asked, "Wait, how old is my father in this timeline?" as he started to realize what Hiruzen want to do, but he want to make sure he is right. "He turned 5 this month," said Hiruzen with a grin on his face, knowing Naruto caught on what he is planning to do with him, and he want to speak further but was cut off by Naruto, who asked, "Don't say it, I know what you are planning. You want me to adopt my father and take care of him, right? So the council can't deny my existence in the village with me having a son who born in the village and a citizen of this village, right?" With a narrowed eye which caused Hiruzen's grin to grew wider, and he replied, "That's right, with you looking just like him everyone will think you guys are father and son, and I am sure if Minato saw you he no doubt will think the same. His mother died after giving birth to him and we don't know the whereabouts of his father, and with you having his genes nobody would get suspicious about where you came from," explained Hiruzen, which make Naruto sigh and nod his head because it's pretty neat backstory, so he decided to agree with that and said, "Okay Gigi, I agree with your term," which make Hiruzen nod his head happily. Hiruzen then asked Naruto a question that has been bugging him. "Naruto, when I order medic to perform a blood test on you to check if you are related to Minato or not, I got some interesting result," which confused Naruto, and he asked, "Is that so? Then what is the interesting part you find form blood test?" To which Hiruzen said, "Well, form the blood test result, it shows that you have bloodline of sub-elemental Kekii Genkai. So I want to ask, how did you got those, because from your memory I didn't see you use any sub-elemental bloodline?" To which Naruto looked at Hiruzen in confusion and asked, I have sub-elemental bloodline, when did this happen?" and started to think. Happened to let him awaken sub-elemental bloodline. Soon he became suspicious that it might be Kurama's doing by snooping around his gene, but what bloodline did he got he don't know. So Naruto asked Hiruzen, Gigi, can you give me some chakra induction paper, to find out what chakra nature he has to confirm his suspicion. Seeing nothing better to do, Hiruzen complied and gave Naruto a chakra induction paper, who took it and channeled his chakra into it, and the paper split into 4 pieces, with one part burning, another turning wet, another part wrinkling, and last part turned to dust, and this reaction surprised both Hiruzen and Naruto. Hiruzen more so than Naruto because he understood what really happened, so he decided to explain it to Naruto and said, "Sai, I see now, I understand what's going on," to which Hiruzen looked at him with curious eye. Seeing Hiruzen's curious look, Naruto explained, "Well, it seemed Kurama gave me some gift to help me by making the chakra that I got from 4 tails to make lava release, because before I got chakra from other Biju they were already sucked into the Geto statue, and if I remember correctly I had absorbed some of Hiriko chakra accidentally, so strong and swift release as well." As Naruto smiled, but Hiruzen became shocked because his village gained 3 unique but powerful and rare bloodline. "Really, that's wonderful, Naruto, but what would you say to Minato, because it's clear he will not get these bloodline?" asked a concerned Hiruzen, which Naruto waved off and said, "Don't worry Gigi, yes, it might be impossible to give him all 3, but with the help of Seal I can give him at least one of them, but I have a feeling I might be able to give him all 3. To which Hiruzen nodded and said, "Get some rest, Naruto, I will visit you tomorrow to discuss what will we say to council, though it will be problematic to create jutsu for these bloodline," which Naruto agreed and answered, "You are right, but when the villages were destroyed in war I had collected many scroll including bloodlines jutsu as well, so it will not be problem, just gave me a secluded training ground to practice those and we will be fine." To which Hiruzen nodded and left the room, while Naruto looked outside the window and think, "Well, this is a new start and I will not fail this time." It's been 3 months. Naruto has landed in the past, and in this 3 months he trained all of his affinities that he didn't train previously and broadened his arsenal with the help of Sandaime Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi. He had also summoned a fox and explained him to everything, who was shocked at first but believed Naruto when he showed him his memories, and as the result of that Naruto was summoned in Claw Mountain, home of Fox Summon, where he met the boss Summon and Sage Miyuki, who was overjoyed to meet their new summoner and swore that she and her kind will be loyal to now Namake's clan, and asked Naruto to visit them again to complete his sage training, which will be easy for him as he is already a sage, so only thing she have to teach him is how fox gather nature chakra, and also teach their ninjutsu that he will be privileged to learn as their summoner. Naruto felt guilty for delaying 3 months to meet his now kid father, well son in this case, but he knew as soon as council will know about him they would want an evaluation on his skill, and no doubt Hiruzen will add his bloodlines as well so he can get a clan status and council seat, and in order that to happen he have to show at least one jutsu from each of his bloodlines, so his training takes priority at that moment, though that didn't mean he hadn't checked on Minato through Hiruzen. Now after 3 months of intense training he is ready for everything that will come towards him, and can be seen walking through the street towards Burning Leaf Orphanage to pick up his son. Though he was shocked when he learned about the orphanage his father is staying, because he himself was stayed in same orphanage, and that the thing he is dreading because he was treated badly in that orphanage, but Hiruzen had reassured him that it wasn't that bad as it was in his time, which while calm him down a little but still didn't alleviate his worries. Soon Naruto stopped in front of a buildings and blinked a few times, seeing that he had already reached the orphanage. He then sighed a little and prepared himself for his eventual meeting with his son and walk inside. Walking inside, Naruto scanned the surrounding and see the childrens are playing happily with each other, but soon his eye caught a blonde boy that is sitting on a swing alone. Looking at the boy, Naruto saw his own childhood picture on him, and like him he was always alone, but then suddenly he realized something, and that is the boy have same spiky hairstyle as him, not to mention same blue eyes as well, which made him realize that this boy is none other than his father. So he decided to approach the boy, but stopped by caretaker that saw him and asked him, "Can I help you, sir?" As Naruto turned towards the woman that is the caretaker, he noticed the woman is of mid-30s and have a smile on her face. Naruto, as a shinobi and war veteran, can easily read someone's facial expression and see if it's fake or not, and this is the reason he came to conclusion the smile on the woman's face is real, so he smiled back and said, "Ah. Yes, I am here to pick up," to which the woman replied happily, "Ah. We have lots of children that are ready to be adopted, let me show their pictures." "No, I am here to pick up a certain boy, my son Minato Namake's. I was informed that I have a son and I am here to pick him up," said Naruto while thinking, "Gosh, it felt so weird to call my father my son," earning a look of recognition from the women, who said, "Ah, I see. Let me bring him to you. We have been expecting you but didn't inform Minato-kun yet," and started to walk where Minato is with Naruto following her. Sitting on the swing, Minato looked at all the children that is playing and thought, "I am sitting at one of the swing at the orphanage playground alone while staring at the other kids playing with their friends because other kids didn't like me. My caretaker is nice and all, but the kids always tease me for my strange hair color and bright blue eyes. They always pick on me, leave mean notes, as well as broke my staff, also tried to beat me down. I have gotten into more than one fight because of my strange hair and eye color, and always managed to pull it off to my caretaker as someone got a lucky hit in a spar. I was told that I inherited my hair and eye color from my father, though I don't know how my father looked like. They told me that my father isn't from here and my parents meet each other in just passing, so there is a chance my father didn't know I exist, but I always hope to reunited with my father. I have been always dreamed to have a family that will love me and care for me, but I had no luck when it came to getting adopted. When I asked them why, they all gave me same answer, that hair is unnatural. I don't know what's so unnatural about it, it's my original hair color, I didn't dye it, it's always been this way. I also didn't try anything with it because I want my father to recognize me when he would visit Konoha again, while hoping he would accept me as his son." Then I heard my caretaker calling my name, Minato-kun. I turned towards her and saw her coming towards me, and at the same time noticing another person standing beside her. The man wore black shinobi pants with bandages on ankle as well as a white jacket with a mesh shirt under it, but what got my attention the most is his hair and eyes. Seeing Naruto, Minato's eye widen and he thought, "Don't tell me As the caretaker smiled softly at him and said, "Minato-kun, this man is Naruto Namikaze and he is your father." Hearing those words, tears started to roll down Minato's cheek as he realized his father is in front of him. His father. When he heard the man's surname, he immediately realized the man is really his father. They even look the same. He watched as the man crouched down and held his arm wide. He never noticed the crowd began to form around them and did the only logical thing would do in his place. He ran towards his father, threw his arm around the man's neck and cried. He felt the man wrap his arms tightly around him, pulling him closer. One hand raised and stroked his hair, tried to comfort him. "Daddy? It's really you, Daddy? Please don't leave me again," whispered Minato as tears still rolling down his cheeks. Naruto felt tears in his eyes and hugged his son closer and said, "Yeah, it's me, Minato. Don't worry, I am here now. I promise won't leave you alone again. We will stick together from now on as family." Naruto felt his heart broke as he could feel the pain Minato has been through. Minato looked up to his father and asked, "Promise," as he feels scared that his father would leave him again, but it was for nothing when he saw Naruto smiled and said, "Promise," causing Minato to cry harder and hide his face on his father's neck, who then stood up with Minato in his arms, who immediately wrapped his feet around his waist, afraid if he didn't then his father would disappear. Naruto just smiled and wiped the tears from his son's face and turned to look at the caretaker, who smiled and nodded her head. She then goes back inside with Naruto following her while carrying his son. "Minato-kun, now you can pack your things so you can go home with your father," said the caretaker to Minato, who had stopped crying but still on his father's arms. Minato nodded at the suggestion and Naruto put him down so he can go back to his room and pack his things. After that, Minato left for his room and came back after some time. Naruto saw Minato just carried a little things with him. "That's all you have?" asked Naruto, to which Minato nodded. Naruto just chuckled and ruffled his son's hair and said, "Don't worry, we can go to shopping after this and you can pick whatever you want to put in your room," causing Minato to tilt his head in mild confusion, but he nodded nonetheless. Naruto hold out his left hand for Minato to hold it, which he did, and then Naruto looked back at caretaker and asked, "So do I have to fill out any paperwork or something?" To which the woman answered, "No, Hokage-sama had already done that, so he is free to go. You can take him," earning a nod from Naruto, who then said, "All right, I will be leaving then, and thank you for taking care of my son for 5 years, and bowed to the woman, who shook her head and said, "No need to thank me, Naruto-san, it is my duty to take care of these children, and Minato-kun is such a sweet boy, just take care of him from now on," to which Naruto smiled back and nodded a little, and then they both left the orphanage. As the father-son duo walking towards their apartment that Naruto had brought, Naruto decide that it would be best if they go for shopping next day, as he is clearly tired from the training and the nightmare of the war didn't help him that much either. He looked at his son, who also looked tired from all the crying at their reunion. They continue their walking until they arrive at their apartment that they will live together from now on. Arriving at the door, Naruto fished through his pocket and bring out the keys and opened the door, then get inside. Turning around, he saw Minato is still standing outside, much to his confusion, so he asked, "What's wrong, buddy?" To which Minato felt hesitant and asked, "Well, do I come in or?" To which Naruto answered, "Yes, of course you can come in, after all this is your home as well," and Minato come in and took off his sandals and asked, "Where do I put my stuff?" standing where he took off his shoes. "Come with me, I will show you around," said Naruto, and got "okay" from his son as Minato started to follow his father. "Here is the kitchen, it's full, you can eat anything you want," said Naruto as he showed Minato the kitchen in the apartment, then moved towards bathroom and showed him where the towel and other product like soap, shampoo are, then moved to the bedroom, and reaching there he said, "Okay, then here is the bedroom and you can put your staff at the closet with my staff, son. There is no bed in the other room, so you will have to sleep with me tonight. I will go get you a bed tomorrow," and smiled to Minato, who returned it with his own smile. Naruto then asked, "So what did you bring with you anyway?" asked Naruto as he looked at Naruto and thought, "Man, he only got small backpack, we have to go shopping for clothes," to which Minato answered, "My clothes and brush and 2 book that the caretaker given me," earning a nod from his father, who said, "Well, then we going for shopping tomorrow and you can pick up whatever you like, alright," and earn a nod from Minato. Naruto then said, "Come on, let's go eat." "No, you are hungry," to which Minato said, "Alright," and followed his father to the kitchen and sat down at the table. So what do you want to eat?" asked Naruto while preparing the ingredient, to which Minato answered, "I don't know, I haven't eaten a lot of different types of food before," blushing slightly. "Well then I will surprise you," said Naruto as he smirked and started cooking while humming a tune. Naruto in his childhood always depend on ramen, but later he was forced to learn about different type of cooking from Tsunade, Shizun, and Iam, which he was thankful for. He will not say he is an exceptional cook, but he can make simple meals that is quite tasty according to Tsunade, though he was lazy most of the time and favored ramen above all. It took Naruto 45 minutes, and after that he prepared the food and he served it to Minato, who started drooling at the smell. It was nothing extraordinary, just some teriyaki chicken and fried rice and some dango. Placing the food on the table, Naruto said, "Sorry son, I am not a good cook and know some of basic dishes, hope you will like it," as Minato looked at his father with smile and said, "It's okay daddy, I am happy that you make it for me," to which Naruto smiled as well and said, "Okay then let's eat," and sat down beside Minato. "Itadakimasu," said both of them, and Minato took a bit of his food and his eyes sparkled and he shouts, "It's delicious," causing Naruto to chuckle, and seeing his father laugh at his behavior, his face turned red with embarrassment. After finishing their food, Minato looked at his father who is cleaning the table and decided to help as he asked, "Do you need help daddy?" to his father who had already moved to wash the dishes. Naruto looked at his son who is waiting for his answer and said, "No, it's fine, you can take bath and go to bed, I can see you are tired, and if you want I can tell you about some stories after I finished," and ruffled his son's hair gently. Minato felt love on his father's touch as he ruffled his hair and tried hard not to cry. He always dreaming about his father would came back and took him in, a father who will care for him and love him, and now that dream is fulfilled. Minato then smiled at his father and left for their room. After Naruto cleaned kitchen, he took a shower and walked to his room and saw Minato is sitting on his bed waiting for him. Naruto smiled and got into bed and asked, "So what story do you want to hear?" to which Minato answered, "Can you tell me about yourself daddy?" with slight hesitation as he afraid his father would be mad at him. But he felt his back being patted and looked up at his father who gave him a gentle smile and said, "Let's see, I was a traveler and always visited many places and seen many things in this world, and if you ask why traveling, then you can say I don't have a place that I can call home. I was born in a small village in Fire Nation, it was our clan village, though they keep to themselves and didn't involve in shinobi matters. But it go destroyed in Second Shinobi War and I am the only one left. It's happened when I was 10-year-old, your grandparents died protecting me, from then I had only one goal, to become strong so I can protect any people that became my loved ones and family in the future," with Minato listening to it with diligence. This is the moment he get to know about his father. He admired his father's ambition and from this moment decide to follow same path, but for now he listened to his father Naruto, who is telling the cover story that he and Hiruzen had created so that no one gets suspicious on his whereabout. Naruto told his son that his enemies caught him off guard and attack him and he get badly injured, and next thing he knew he awoke at the hospital. The Hokage told him that he had a son, it's Minato, that's why from now on he will be a resident of Konoha, and Sandaime decided to register him as Konoha Shinobi as he has skill of a shinobi after so much learning and training while traveling. Minato felt guilty because of him his father can't continue his travel, but before he drowned himself in further misery he felt his father pat his head and he looked at his father who is smiling softly and said, "It's okay, I think this is my opportunity to settle down and you are the reason I can do that. Finally having someone for me to protect beside, I already traveled for many years but I am still alone, so with you here I can finally have a place to call home, the place where someone greet me when I came back, so I am really grateful for that, and most of all I am grateful to have you my son and the only family I have left. So Minato, don't abandon your family or friends or anyone precious to you, and I will tell you some advice that was given to me by my friend and teacher. In the ninja world those who break the rules are scum, but those who were abandoned their comrades are worse than scum, so don't abandon you loved ones and comrade, while also try to find people who you can call your precious people, because one can only be truly strong when he protecting someone precious to him. Take this word to heart Minato, it will help you. Oh, another thing, always look underneath the underneath, as he imparted some advice to his son. Minato listened to his father and took his word to the heart, but soon his eyes started to get heavy. Naruto saw it and kept patting his back while saying, "Sleep, we can continue the stories another day," as Minato yawned and said, "Good night daddy, I love you," and fell asleep with a smile on his face after he felt his father kissed his forehead and said, "Love you too son." The next morning Minato woke up and looked to his side and see the bed is empty. So what happened yesterday was just a dream, huh? But it felt so real, thought Minato with sadness. Then with a sigh he left the room towards bathroom to finish his morning routine. 15 minutes later Minato was finished and he wore same outfit as yesterday, only a clean one. After that he walked towards the kitchen and go towards the shelf, never noticing his father is seating on the dining table and sipping tea. Naruto has noticed that Minato didn't look towards him, which confused him a little, but he didn't dwell on that matter and greet the younger blonde. "Good morning Minato, did you sleep well?" Hearing Naruto's voice Minato froze and slowly turned around and see that his father is seating on the table and smiling at him. Seeing Minato's expression Naruto laughed as he quickly understood what Minato is thinking and said, "No Minato, yesterday wasn't a dream. I am real and everything that happened yesterday was real as well. You don't have to worry, I am back for good and not going anywhere anytime soon," causing Minato's eye to widen as tears run down his cheeks again. Seeing this Naruto stood up and walked towards his son. Reaching him Naruto crouched down and put a hand on his shoulder, and that broke Minato out from the stupor and he whispered, "You are really here?" Naruto nodded at that. He then picked up Minato and sat down on chair. Minato wrapped his arm around his father, laid his head against his chest with Naruto return the hug and ruffle his hair while saying, "I am sorry that I am absent from your life for 5 years and it's probably hard to believe that I am present here now, but you don't have to worry, it's all real and I am not going anywhere," causing Minato to nod his head. Naruto then said, "Okay then how about we eat breakfast today, we have to go to the shopping as well," earning a smile from Minato. Naruto then create 2 shadow clone who brought out the food he already prepared. Seeing the food Minato started to drool, earning a chuckle from Naruto causing him to blush in embarrassment. Naruto then ruffled his son's hair and said, "Let's dig in," and both father and son brought their hand in a prayer motion and said, "Itadakimasu," and started to eat their breakfast. After eating breakfast Naruto started to clean the table and dish with Minato helping him, and soon they finished their cleaning and left the house and walked towards shopping district with Naruto holding Minato's hand so that they don't get separated in the crowd that is walking alongside them. When two are walking, many people look at the two but mostly look at the older blonde. Minato noticed that everyone is looking at his father, he can't help it though. His father is attractive and handsome, with a sunny blonde hair, sharp blue eyes and whisker marks on his cheeks. Minato had no doubt that when he grow up he will look an exact replica of his father, well except whisker marks though. He didn't know how his father get it, he want to ask but he think that he might intervene with his father's privacy too much. But one thing he want to ask from his father, so he called him, "Hey dad," to which Naruto looked down at him and said, "Yes Minato," as he motioned for Minato to continue, which Minato did, and asked, "Are you a ninja?" as he tilted his head in curiosity, but it was so cute that Naruto had to fight his urge to coo at his son, but he answered the question with chuckle, "I guess you forgot about yesterday, huh? But to answer your question, yes I am a shinobi, but I was not working with any village, just traveling and taking job as hired mercenaries, but soon I will be a ninja of this village." Hearing this Minato's eye sparkled and he looked at his father with awe and admiration. The next moment Minato started to question Naruto in rapid fire as he asked, "Do you know awesome jutsu? Can I see it? Can you teach me? Can I become a ninja like you too?" To which Naruto chuckled and answered, "Wah. Slow down, east there buddy. I can't answer if you keep asking me," which make Minato stop his question and blushed in embarrassment. "Well, to answer your question earlier, yes I do know many awesome jutsu. You can see it later today, as today council is going to test me and I will teach you when you turn 6 and started the academy, that is if you want to," as Minato smiled at that and asked excitedly, "Really, really?" confirmed Naruto with his bright smile. Then they arrive at the store that sold normal and shinobi cloths, the two go inside and waitress saw them and greet them. "Welcome, what can I do for you sir?" asked the staff and gives smile at Naruto. Naruto look at the woman that approach him and Minato, and give her a small smile making the woman blush. Just by his charming smile, he can make most girls melting. Well, we are here to buy some shinobi cloth and casual cloth for my son, Naruto said as he pointed towards Minato beside him. The staff saw the 5-year-old blonde boy at the man's side and felt slight disappointed. The man look on mid-20s and she didn't expect him to have a child, but well, it's common for someone to married in the young age. "Ah, right, follow me sir, I will show you the way," said the staff and walked to the shinobi cloth section where both father and son pick up cloths for them and repeat it for normal cloths as well. Naruto paid for the cloths and both of them are out from the store. After that they go towards the furniture store. Reaching there, Naruto looked down at his son and said, "Pick something that you want for your room," causing Minato to nod his head as he started to look around. When he got what he wanted for his room, he called his father and Naruto just by what Minato pointed. After they are done, Naruto seal everything inside a scroll and made a shadow clone and order it to took everything to the apartment. Naruto then noticed it's time for lunch and said, "Oh, look at that, it's already lunch time," and look at his son and said, "Let's go Minato and have some lunch," as Minato nod at that and follow his father to the ramen stand and both of them enjoy their time. After finishing their lunch they exit the stand and started to walk towards training ground 12 when Naruto sensed a chakra build up and stopped on his tracks, causing Minato to look at his father in confusion, but before he could ask, an Umbu with hawk mask appear in front them. The Umbu then said, "Namikaze-san, Hokage-sama and council is already gathered in the training ground 12 and currently waiting for you," to which Naruto said, "We are going there," earning a nod from the Umbu as he vanished in a body flicker, followed by Naruto, who also vanished using Flying Thunder God and teleport to Hiruzen, who have his marked kunai with him. In training ground 12 all the council members of Shinobi side have gathered waiting for Naruto. "Hokage-sama, where is this Naruto-sen you told us about?" asked a blonde-hair man. "This is none other than Yamanaka clan head Inoki Yamanaka. I already sent a massage and he will be here soon," said Hiruzen, earning a nod from Yamanaka head, but before they can ask any more question they caught a crimson flash and in front of them is a tall man with spiky blonde hair with sharp deep blue eyes, and beside him was a 5-year-old boy who look exact replica of older blonde with longer bangs that frame his face and without whisker-like mark that adorned the older blonde cheek. Hiruzen smirked at Naruto and said, "So this the version of Flying Thunder God you have discovered, huh?" earning a shocked look from those who know Nidame's fabled teleportation jutsu, while other had confused expression on their face, but Naruto just nod his head and turned towards Minato and said, "Minato, go stand with Hokage-sama so I can show them my skill," to which Minato nod his head and go towards Sandame and stand beside him. Hiruzen then asked to Naruto, "So are you ready, Naruto?" to which Naruto nod his head and started to execute his jutsus. First Naruto create a barrier so that the spectator didn't get caught in crossfire, then he create a shadow clone with pumping a quarter of his chakra, who at the signal of Naruto go opposite side of the field. Naruto then started the fight by using 3-hand sign and said, "Fire style, fire blast," as he spat out blue flame that took the shape of fire kanji and soared through air towards one of Naruto's clone who used 5-hand signs and said, "Water style, Gizair," causing a huge water to shot out of his mouth which snuff out the fire and soared towards Naruto, who again used 2-hand sign and said, "Wind style, wind wall," and with that the water had collided with the wind wall causing an explosion, making Minato worried, but soon the dust cloud clear to show an unharmed Naruto is standing, which caused everyone to sigh in relief, but before they can do anything both Naruto and his clone took one step forward and vanished from the sight, earning a shocked look from everyone, but they soon came out of their stupor when they heard the sound of metal clashing and see that Naruto is fighting with his clone in kenjutsu and in his hand is a katana whose blade made out of black steel while his clone is using a normal katana. They were transfixed at the skill in kenjutsu Naruto is displaying. Then Naruto did something which make them gape in shock. Naruto and his clone started to leave after images. Soon the kenjutsu match turned to taijutsu, where Naruto fully utilized the hummingbird style that is based on speed. Soon Naruto and his clone separated from each other with the clone go through 7-hand sign and said, "Earth style, rock tomb, and slammed his hand on the ground, causing earth pillar to rise and trap Naruto, restricting his movement. But everyone had noticed original Naruto has gone through two-hand sign and started to think what jutsu his is going to use, but soon they got their answer as Naruto shouted, lightning style, purple lightning, causing the earth pillar to burst from the intense electricity. That is purple in color and is on Naruto's right hand, and without warning he started to run towards the clone who had a ball of swirling chakra in his hand and charged towards original one. The time seemed to slow down for a moment as both of them clash with a cry of purple lightning / Rasengan, causing another explosion that throw both Naruto and his clone, but both soon recover and started to go through hand sign, and as soon as they finished both of them shout, Strom release, Red Panther / Lava release, Lava Bomb, causing a panther made of red lightning and a giant ball of boiling hot lava shot out from the caster and clashed with each other, causing another explosion and dust and debris to cover the view of spectator. When the dust cloud settled down, they saw Naruto standing in the destroyed field looking at them with a sheepish smile while scratching the back of his head at the shocked look from everyone. Hiruzen was first to come out of his shock, already knowing what the blonde is capable of, and said, "That's great Naruto-kun, but can you release the barrier as the test is already over," causing Naruto to laugh a little, and with a single hand sign Naruto released the barrier. As soon as the barrier is released, Minato ran towards his father, who crouched down and picked him up as he reached him. Minato then said, "That was awesome, Daddy. Can you teach me those jutsu?" earning a chuckle from everyone there, but Naruto answered, "I will when you grow up a little, okay?" earning an enthusiastic nod from his son. Naruto then looked towards Hiruzen, who smiled at him and said, "It was an impressive display, Naruto-kun. From today you will be known as Fox Sannin, and as you requested, Namake's clan is registered as Konoha clan from now on," causing Naruto to smile and Minato to cheer. After that, a man with black hair and onyx eyes over forward and brought out his hand for a handshake, which Naruto reciprocate, and they shook hand, and the man said, "It was quite an impressive display, Namake-san. I am Kagami Uchiha, head of the Uchiha clan," to which Naruto said, "Thank you, Uchiha-san, but please call me Naruto. I am not for formality," as Kagami chuckled and said, "Very well, then call me Kagami. I am also hate the formality," to which Naruto laughed a little. After that, Hiruzen said, "Everyone, let's go to the council room where you can ask Naruto about your quarry," to which everyone nodded. Naruto then said, "Hokage-sama, can I brought Minato with me? As I know my fellow councilman would like to hear about my clan, and Minato also want that as well," which caused everyone to look at him surprised, but Hiruzen nodded that, giving Naruto the permission to bring Minato with him. Soon every clan head gathered in council room and every member seated in their designated spot. Naruto is sitting in his spot with Minato, who is sitting on his lap. Hiruzen looked at all of the clan heads and said, "Now we will start our meeting. This meeting is about addition of a new clan in our village. Rank the Namake's clan. Those who support of this notion raise your hand," as Hiruzen said that, one by one every clan head raised their hand. Seeing this, Hiruzen nodded his head and said, "As everyone agreed to this, I, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the Sandaime Hokage of Konohagakure no Sato, welcome Naruto Namake's and his clan Namake's to our village," as he looked at Naruto, who nodded his head and said, "Thank you, Hokage-sama, for accepting my request and allowing my clan to grow in the shade of giant tree that is your village Konoha," earning a nod and smile from Hiruzen. Naruto then turned towards his fellow clan head and said, "I also thank you, my fellow clan head, to give your vote of confidence for including my clan in our great village," which caused him to earn smile from all of the head. Naruto then looked at Hiruzen, who nodded him as he nodded back and said, "With the blessing of Hokage-sama, I present my son Minato Namake's to you, who is present heir of Namake's clan." As all of them look at Minato, who became uncomfortable at sudden attention brought to him, but relaxed when he felt his father's comforting hand on his shoulder as he looked at his father, who nodded at him. So with a deep breath Minato said, like Naruto, "Thank you, father, for making me the heir." He then looked at others and said, "Thank you everyone for being present in this moment. I hope we can work with each other in future," causing a surprised look from everyone at the 5-year-old's declaration. Even Naruto was surprised as he didn't expect Minato to spoke such a formal way without teaching him, but it had gone well. After that everyone settled down and Chojin Akimichi asked, Naruto-sen, you displayed your mastery over all 5 element as well as 2 sub-elemental Kekii Genkai, which is very rare, so can you shed some light on this, as the sub-elements you have used normally found in Land of Lightning and Land of Earth, though lava release is also found in Land of Water as well. As everyone look at Naruto. Taking a deep breath, Naruto said, you are not wrong in your assumption Akimichi-san, but you are not entirely correct either. To which Toshi Hyuga asked, what do you mean Namikaze-san? While you are correct about me having all 5 chakra nature, you are wrong about me having 2 Kekii Genkai, as I have 3 not 2, and before you ask I have shown it to you as I have used it to leave after images of me. As everyone's face lit up in recognition. Hiro Kurama then said, can you tell us about your clan and why we didn't know about such powerful clan? Naruto sighed a little and said, Namikaze clan is not originally from Land of Fire but rather Land of Lightning. You see, during the era of warring clan, Namikaze was a prominent clan with their bloodline swift release, which is combination of lightning and wind, which they used mainly to increase their speed. From what I heard from my father is that the lightning daimyo saw it as useless, just like he saw tertiary element steel release of Kanjiki clan as useless as well and wanted to get rid of us, so he assigned both clan in different suicide mission while send others to finish of the members that left behind, though I am pretty sure the one gave that order had destroyed every record of my clan as well, so no one found out about it. Anyway, both clan unaware of this go to the mission, and that mission became their last mission, and the clan got destroyed with 5 or so Kanjiki managed to escape and go in the hiding, as well as 15 or so Namikaze also escape and hide themselves at a small village at Land of Fire. From that day onward my clan man took mission as Ronin and stopped using their bloodline so that no one will detect some Namikaze has escaped, which became more prominent when my father was born, as he born with not only swift release but also strong release, as well as my grandmother had water release and it somehow get mutated, resulting him to gain strong release, as well as red lightning that was produced by strong release, and purple lightning was already in the clan due to swift release. As Naruto look at everyone he saw, they look at him with pity in his eyes, but they understand the era of warring clan was cruel, while Minato looking at him in sadness. Kagami, who is seated beside him, put a hand on his shoulder and Naruto gave him a nod of appreciation and started, and if you ask about my lava release, then I can say that I gained it from my mother. I don't know about her origin as she doesn't like to talk about it, but from their tale my father had rescued my mother from being raped and after brought her to the village where she stayed from then on and married my father, with whom she fell in love. Everything was going great, but in previous war our village was attacked and destroyed. Surely you guys heard about it, earning a nod from everyone. Naruto then continued, that was our village and the attack caused the death of all of my clan's men except me, and now I and my son are the only living member of this line. To which Inoki Yamanaka said, that's unfortunate, but now that you are here you can rebuild your clan, and you are the first one since Shodaime to have sub-elemental Kekii Genkai in Konoha, and not to mention you have lightning and wind style, which is very rare here in Land of Fire. Earning a nod from Naruto, Inoki then turned towards Hiruzen and said, Hokage-sama, I propose to initiate Clan Restoration Act on Namikaze-san, which both Naruto and Hiruzen has anticipated earlier. So Hiruzen nodded and turned towards Naruto, who said, Sai, I know that I don't really have any choice in this matter, but I request 2 things. As Hiruzen nodded his head and motioned for Naruto to continue. First, I want some time so I can raise my son before entering into CRA, and second, I want to choose who I am going to marry, and no one can force anything on me. To which Hiruzen said, that is acceptable. I gave you 2-year time, and by that time you have to choose your first bride. Is this acceptable? To which Naruto sighed and nodded his head while thinking, it would be great if you were here, Shizuka-chan. I really miss you, and now I am stuck here without you. I hope you forgive me. I really don't have any option to avoid this. Soon the meeting was ended and everyone left for their home. Reaching the apartment, Naruto opened the door and he and Minato come inside. Go wash yourself, son, I will prepare the food. To which Minato nodded and left the room, and Naruto started to prepare the dinner. After some time Minato entered the room and see that his father has already set the table, and soon both father and son started to eat their food. Minato then looked at Naruto and asked, Daddy, why are you upset? Which caused Naruto to pause his eating, and he looked at Minato and asked, why did you think that? To which Minato said innocently, I noticed you were upset when the CRA was mentioned. I mean, what is wrong with it? As I can finally get a mommy as well, maybe a little brother or sister, as he didn't understand why his father is upset. Naruto just sighed and said, Minato, well, I met your biological mother in my travel, but we didn't have that much of a special bond, but that didn't mean I never fell in love with other, and the person I fell in love with died. I couldn't save her or my unborn child, and it felt wrong. I felt like I am betraying her. Hearing his father's explanation, Minato looked down and said in sadness, sorry daddy, I just want a mommy. That I forgot how you felt, as he thought, if the person dad fell in love with is alive now, then I would have a mom and a sibling as well. Minato came out of his stupor when he felt Naruto ruffle his hair, and he looked up at his father, who looked at his eye and said, don't worry, I understand, just give me some time, okay? To which Minato nodded his head. After that they finished their food and took shower and go to the bed, with Naruto thinking about his raven-haired lover with whom he is going to reunite soon. It's been 3 years. Naruto travels back to the past and become Minato's father, and in those 3 years he spend time with Minato, training him whenever he is off duty from the mission. As he is Namake's head as well as Fox Sannin, who by the way first Sannin of Konoha, he was given many S-rank missions which he had completed without any failure. His title has spread fast throughout every nation, and he is marked as a SS rank shinobi. As he is well known, whenever he walk around with his son, they will give him a bow of respect and admiration at him. Whenever he is on mission, he would left Minato with his summons, who take a liking to Minato and always glad to spend time the boy. He thought that Minato will be sad and started to hate him for leaving him with his subordinate, but Minato always welcomed him home with bright smile. Naruto was happy and relieved that Minato still look him with respect. Minato is a sweat child and always delighted whenever his father will be the one to train him. He had already knows from his father's and the fox's teaching about various ninja skills, for example fuinjutsu, ninjutsu, kenjutsu, taijutsu, genjutsu. Naruto had also told them there are many shinobi that specialize in one of these skill, earning a nod from Minato, who then asked his father, Dad, among these skill, which skill you specialize in? To which Naruto replied, Son, I specialize in every one of these skill, though genjutsu is still very hard to do for me, but I can break out of any genjutsu. Naruto then teach him about chakra nature affinity and how all 5 chakra nature, fire, water, wind, lightning, and earth worked, as well as how they combine to make secondary and tertiary element. He also told him a little about history of each nation and their shinobi, and teach him what he can and can't do. Minato patiently learned everything from his father, but the most important lesson he learned that being a shinobi is not being a hero who use cool jutsu, but it's about to protect something precious to you. It's not about power, status, and influence. He will not forget the word his fathers had said to him and keep his father's word in his mind and heart. Minato is happy that his father came back to Konoha and took care of him. He had learned more about his clan as well, and he is proud to be a part of Namake's clan and vowed to his dead ancestor that he will make them proud of him. Though he was a little afraid that he might not get their bloodline, but to his surprise he had gotten all 3 of the bloodline when his father checked his affinity. Beside him, Naruto was initially surprised at the result, but then he smiled at satisfaction that his seal had worked. Naruto had created genetic rebirth seal that can give a person bloodline of others if they have some DNA samples of the bloodline holder. As the seal inject the DNA sample to the target's chakra network and modified them so that the subject on whom the seal was used can gain the Kikei Genkai that is injected on their body. It also work on people who suppose had implanted Sharingan or Byakugan can gain it as their original Kekei Genkai, as well as pass down to their children. Naruto had kept the information of this seal to his heart, and only person other than him knows about it are Hiruzen Sarutobi, the Sandaime Hokage, and Mito Uzumaki. Speaking of Mito Uzumaki, Naruto had visited the woman many times and spends time with her. Mito, who has sensed his Uzumaki chakra, was very eager to meet him. Naruto had told everything to the old woman, who was sad to learn about the future. Naruto had come from where her clan was killed as well as whole world was destroyed, but was relieved to hear that Naruto will not let Uzumaki clan fall and will do anything to prevent the destruction. Mito also happy to spend some time with Minato as well. Naruto has also told her about Kurama and their friendship, surprising her. Naruto gave her proof of that when they both enter Naruto's mindscape and meet Kurama, who was very happy to meet his only human friend after Sage of the 6 Paths. Mito, who had seen their interaction, has bowed to Kurama and asked for his forgiveness. Kurama had also forgiven her but asked that Naruto became his second vessel as he is friends with Naruto, and this way Kushina hadn't have to suffer of being a Jinchuriki, which Mito had agreed to, but also agreed that she will not interfere of Kushina's coming to Leaf. During his visit to Mito, Naruto has become good friends with Tsunade, who also loved to spend time with Minato as well and help the boy in his chakra control. Minato also happy to visit his aunt and loved to spend time her as well, which brought a smile to both Naruto and Mito's lips, but Naruto sometime felt uneasy when he saw a glint of something in the old woman's eye. Anyway, Naruto had hold Minato back for a little from joining the academy as he want train and prepare Minato for everything, and as he is prepared now, Naruto had registered him for the academy with the children of his age who were already 1 year in the academy, as academy entry age changed from 6 to 7 years old. When Minato heard this, he became delighted that he can become real shinobi like his father and make some friends. Now Naruto can be seen in dining room setting the table as he was in break from mission and have to attend a meeting with academy principal to let him know why Minato was late for his admission, as well as let their sensei know about this as well. After setting table, Naruto called Mina too. "Hey buddy, if you didn't woke up soon, you gonna be late for your first day at the academy." "I am coming," shouts Minato back from his room and walk downstairs to the kitchen where his father waiting for him. They both eat their breakfast together, and after that Naruto walk Minato to his school. As they were walking down the street, villagers are staring at them and some of them gave them a small bow. Minato, who is not used to be center of attention of many people, feel a little nervous about it. Naruto sensed his son's nervousness and squished his son's hand for reassurance. Minato looked up at his father, who gave him a small smile and a wink, causing him to smile as well. Minato is really glad to have his father back. Yes, he earned for a mother as well, but he can't complain. He has his father who love him and care for him. He isn't alone anymore. As he looked forward again, he saw a man walking down the street with his son on his shoulders. Minato looked up at his father again, who got the hint and lifted Minato over his head and put him on his shoulders. Minato laughed and Naruto smiled at this. The moment like this made him forget about the sadness of losing his loved ones in the war for a little while, and he is happy about it. He is happy to give Minato a good life that the boy deserved. Minato looked at the small family smiling and felt the same happiness by looking at them. The two continue their walking until they arrive at the academy. Just outside the academy, Naruto put Minato down and hold his hat, and both of them go towards the principal's room. Reaching principal's room, Naruto knocked on the door and heard a male voice said, "Enter," and Naruto opened the door and entered the room. The principal is a middle-aged man with brown hair and onyx eyes who wore Konoha standard uniform. The man looked up from the document who enters his office, and seeing who is in front of him, he stand up and bowed and said, "Namikaze-sama, what can I do for you?" To which Naruto said, "Raise your head, principal, you don't need to bow, but I am here to enroll my son," and give him the paper he got from Hokage. The principal took the paper and read it. After reading it, he gave the enrollment form to Naruto, who filled it up and gave it back to the principal, who then stamped it and said, "Okay then, Namikaze-sama, your son will be in second year like you requested with other child of his age. Please give this to the Chunin instructor named Asabesa Habra," to which Naruto nodded his head and then left with Minato. Soon they reached the classroom 201 and Naruto knocked on the door and it opened to reveal the man with black hair and black eyes in Konoha standard uniform, who noticing who had knocked the door immediately bowed and said, "Namikaze-sama, what can I do for you?" To which Naruto said, "At ease, Habra-san," causing the Chunin to relax at the presence of such powerful man and a clan head at that. Naruto just give the Chunin the paper principal has given him and said, "Habra-san, my son will be in your class and I was asked by the principal to give you this." The Chunin took the paper and read it and nodded his head. After reading the paper he said, "Okay, Namikaze-sama." He then turned towards Minato and said, "Minato-kun, you will enter the classroom when I asked for you to enter," earning a nod from him. The Chunin teacher go inside the classroom and said, "Everyone quiet down, we have a new student," as everyone quiet down and eager to see who this student is. Seeing everyone quiet, Habra nodded his head and said, "You can enter." The door of the classroom opened and enter Minato, and he go and stand beside the Chunin teacher, who said, "This is Minato Namikaze and he will be your classmate from now on, so treat him well." He then turned towards Minato and said, "Minato-kun, please introduce yourself," to which Minato said, "Hello everyone, I am Minato Namikaze and I hope we get along well." As the murmur began, the Chunin instructor sighed and said, "Minato-kun, go and sit on the third bench," earning a nod from Minato, who then go towards the seat and sit down. Though he heard the murmurs like, "That's the orphan we used to pick up on. Why is he here? He can't be a shinobi. What's up with his hair? Is he trying to be like our clan? Hey, don't say that. I hear that he is heir of the newly joined Namikaze clan and he look like his father. I personally like his hair, it's the color of sunshine. I agree, he is kind of cute. With those blue eyes. They are like sky. Well, first day and I got fangirls already, what a pain. Though there are some who want to beat me up again. It's good thing I was trained by Dad and his summon Shiro. Dad's training is hard, but it's worthy because Dad is strong and he trained me to become strong too," thought Minato as the class started. 2 years have been passed since Minato got into academy, and in those past 1 year he got some friends. His friends consist with Shikaku Nara, Inoichi Yamanaka, Choza Akimichi, Tsum Inazuka, Mikoto Uchiha, Hayashi Hyuga, Hizashi Hyuga, and lastly Kushina Uzumaki, who had transferred to Konoha after 6 months of him joining the academy. Well, Minato and Kushina didn't really that close because at the first day Kushina transferred, she get pick on by same kid that liked to bully Minato in the past but stopped when they know what level they are with him. They try to beat him, but Minato easily beat them with hummingbird style taijutsu, that is his clan taijutsu style and taught to him by his father. Anyway, when Kushina came, they make fun of her as Minato replacement, and when they said her hair looked like tomato, she beat them to the pump for making fun of her hair. Minato want to help her, but she rejected him harshly, telling him to stay on his own business. So the two not really that close, and Minato can't say they really friends or not. In this time Minato also gained many fangirls as well, whom he despised because he noticed that they are like what his father said, just joined the academy to find about cool boy and tarnish the reputation of other kunoichi that are genuinely there to be strong, like Mikoto, Tsum, Kushina. Though unknown to him, Mikoto did have a crush on him which didn't go unnoticed by others. Even Naruto and Kagami also noticed it as well. Kagami, who is always worried for his baby girl because of pompous elder who already trying to have her in an arranged marriage contract, and the chosen candidate is Fugaku, who is 7 years older than her and very much arrogant. He feared that if Mikoto married to him in the future, she will be only a trophy wife that is there to pop out child, and she will lose all the power she has as next head of the clan. So to prevent that, he had contracted with Naruto, who became his close friend, to propose a marriage contract between Minato and Mikoto, as well as another contract that is for Naruto and Kiyomi. Kiyomi is ostracized by the clan because she is the product of her mother's rape. Kagami see Kiyomi like his sister, so he want his sister to have a good life. Naruto, who is already in a political dilemma, caught off guard by 2 marriage contract from a clan like Uchiha and don't know what to say. He know that no matter how much he tried to escape from CRA he can't, but he didn't want Minato to caught between this political game. He is well aware about Mikoto's crush on Minato from the day both met each other, and in his time he had found out Mikoto's diary where she had mentioned about having crush on Minato but backed down because her sister in all but blood Kushina also fell in love with him, and Minato also fell in love with Kushina, her being just a trophy wife. Naruto knew that Minato and Kushina bound to get together, but will it be wise to add Mikoto in this as well? He also knew if he refused about the contract, then he might upset Kagami, resulting him stop supporting his clan, and it might lead to made an enemy out of a powerful clan. And even if he were to accept his marriage contract with Kiyomi, it still might not prevent that, given Kiyomi being an outcast of the clan. So begrudgingly Naruto have to accept both marriage contract, but with a condition that if Minato and Mikoto both found someone they love, it will be null and void. Well, that is applicable if Mikoto found one, not in the case of Minato, because it can be seen as him taking responsibility and helping his father rebuild the clan. Naruto also asked Kagami, if all the child came from union between Mikoto and Minato have Sharingan, then what will happen? to which Kagami smiled a little and said, Naruto, I know you will create a seal that will make your bloodline dominant than Sharingan when you married Kiyomi and have child with her. Use same on the second case also, but I would expect that at least one male heir would be part of Uchiha clan from this union. Naruto sighed at that and nodded his head and taking a mental note to push Minato and Kushina together sooner before he had to tell about this second marriage contract in hope his son would forgive him. When he had came to the past to prevent the devastating fourth great ninja war, he didn't expect that he will be in kind of situation which he is in now thanks to his furry friend. This is the second contract he is in, first being with Tsunade thanks to his grand aunt Mito, and now him being with Kiyomi, and not to mention Minato also get dragged into this as well. Sometime he think he made a mistake by coming to the past. If only his wife was here with him, she would have solved many problem that he somehow found himself in. Now Minato can be seen on the way to go to the Namikaze clan compound that his father built a year before, and they had shift to the compound. Normally his father pick him up, but he is on a mission, so he is going there with his friend and caretaker Shiro by his side. Minato knew his father is a busy man and an important person in the village. However, Minato also knew that even though how busy his father is, he still spend time with him, doesn't matter how tired he is. That's what Minato respect and admired about his father, and he want to be like him one day. Anyway, Minato just came back from his academy and decide to train and will go home after he eat his dinner at Ichiraka Ramen. He had often come home late, but Naruto didn't mind so as long he came back before dinner. Placing his bag on the counter, Minato freshened up a bit and took his ninja pouch and goes to the training ground that he and his father always used, which is training ground 28. That place rarely used because it far from village and near the forest, so it's isolated from others. Reaching the training ground, Minato created some shadow clone that his father taught him and started to practice his shuriken jutsu as well as chakra control, so someday he also can use jutsu with less hand sign or without hand sigh like his father did. That's what his father had taught him, and he need to be more patient. His father also teach him that being patient is also important to get stronger. While Minato is training, he heard Shiro growled suddenly, so he stopped his training and asked, "Is everything alright, Shiro?" To which Shiro said, "Minato, I smelled some foreign smell that is not from our village, as well as another one familiar smell which is most probably Kushina. I think we should check it and see what's going on." Hearing Shiro's reply, Minato got worried for Kushina and nod his head. After that they go towards the place where Shiro got Kushina's as well as those unfamiliar scent. Soon they saw a trail of red hair and they got more worried and started to follow the trail. Kushina is not having a good day. She has always get teased by those boys because of her red hair, and just like always she had beaten them up. After academy ended for the day, she got back to her apartment only to face 4 Kyumo Jonin who were waiting for her. She tried to fight them, but she is weak compared to Jonin. She tried to run but failed as they caught up to her, and she is captured, and now her hands were bound and she is dragged towards Fire and Lightning Country Broder. She knew what await for her if they managed to go inside Land of Lightning. She will be used as breeding stock for Kyumo to gain Uzumaki clan. She prayed to Kami to send anyone to save her for a fate worse than death, as well as leave a trail of her hair as they proceed. She is tired and let those Kyumo bastard drag her. As they were walking one by one, Kyumo Jonin started to fall down until Kushina is the only one remained at her feet. As she stumbled forward, she felt that no one is dragging her and look up to see Minato is standing in front of her. Seeing him, Kushina felt relieved and fall down due to exhaustion, but before she can fully fall down, Minato caught her and carried her in bridal style as he jumped on the top branch of a tree and looked down on the 4 Jonin he took down when they were least expecting it, and use a seal his father made which would keep them immobilized for at least 4 hours. Minato then turned towards Shiro and said, "Shiro, can you go to Hokage office and inform him about what happened?" To which the fox nodded his head and ran off towards the direction of Hokage office. "Are you alright, Kushina?" asked Minato, to which Kushina nodded her head, but soon she saw Minato hold the strands of her hair that she left behind as trail, and she was surprised and said, "That's your hair is beautiful, so I noticed it right away," replied Minato, to which Kushina averted her gaze and asked, "Then how come you ignore me all of the time?" "I didn't ignore you, Kushina. At first when I tried to help you, you rejected my help, Minato deadpanned, causing Kushina to blush in embarrassment knowing it was true, but before she can say anything Minato continued, I know you are strong Kushina, both mentally and physically. I know you can take care of yourself, that's why I didn't help you with the bully. Hearing those words, Kushina's heart started to beat faster. She learned other than her favorite uncle Naruto, there is someone in this village that like her red hair. She knew Minato is Naruto's son, but she saw him just a wimp, but he is really cool like his father. In that moment Kushina knew that she had fallen for the blonde-hair idiot that is carrying her. Soon they heard a rustle causing them to tense up, but they relaxed when they saw it was Shiro and behind him a squad of Umbu who quickly capture those 4 Kyumo Jonin. The captain of the squad, who is with a hawk mask, turned towards Minato and said, "You did well Namike-san, now please go to the Hokage office. Hokage-san waiting for you," and Uzumaki-san both, earning a nod from everyone as the Umbu squad took off with 4 captured Kyumo shinobi. Minato took off towards Hokage office with Shiro in tow. He is still carrying Kushina, who snuggle up to him and enjoying the warmth. In the Hokage office Hiruzen is worryingly waiting for Minato and Kushina. He is shocked that 4 Kyumo shinobi infiltrated his village and kidnapped Kushina. He can only thank Kami-sama that Minato had noticed and rescued Kushina, otherwise he couldn't come to think how much the poor girl would suffered, and not to mention the massive political fallout with their closest ally the Uzumaki clan. As he was thinking this, he heard a knock on his office door, so he said, "Enter," and the door opened to reveal Minato and Kushina, who still carried by Minato. Entering the room, Minato put Kushina to her feet and said, "Hokage-sama, you ask of me," to which Hiruzen nodded his head and said, "Yes Minato-kun." "Give me the report," to which Minato nodded his head and described what happened. After Minato finished his explanation, Hiruzen said, "Well done Minato-kun. I am proud of you," earning a blush of embarrassment from the blonde-haired boy. Hiruzen then turned towards Kushina and said, "I am sorry Kushina-chan that you face such situation," who replied, "It's okay Hokage-sama, I know it's not your fault." "Hokage-sama, can Kushina stay with me for the time being? I think it's not wise to let her stay alone now, as the Fox Summon are taking care of me, and because of the seal she will be well protected in our clan compound," said Minato, as Hiruzen thought for a while and said, "Yeah, that is best for everyone I think, and Naruto is also scheduled to return tomorrow anyway, so it will be best. What do you think Kushina-chan?" To which Kushina blushed lightly at the thought of spending night with Minato in his clan compound, which didn't go unnoticed by Hiruzen, who smirked a little. "Okay Hokage-sama, if you think it's better then I accept," said Kushina, earning a nod from Hiruzen, who then took out a paper and wrote something on it and gave it to Minato and said, "Here Minato, give this to the treasurer, he will give you your payment for completing an A-rank mission," earning a surprised look from the kids. Minato took the paper and said, "Thank you Hokage-sama," and after that both leave the office. Naruto is traveling towards Land of Water while simultaneously trying to detect where Madara and Zetsu are hiding. While he was doing so, something caught in his radar which caused him to froze, as he thought, "It can't be, she is dead." Then how? Because he felt those familiar chakra that he thought he won't felt again in his lifetime. "Kurama, do you feel that?" asked Naruto to his best friend, who upon Mito's death 2 months ago again sealed in him. "Yeah, I can feel too, Kit." "What do you want to do?" asked Kurama, who really glad to again be with his friend. After coming to the past, he had merged with his old body that is sealed in Mito, and much to his annoyance he was chained like he knew he was when he was sealed within Mito and Kushina, but thanks to his friend Naruto he was spared, as when Naruto meet the old Uzumaki woman he had shared everything to her, and then both of them come inside Mito's mindscape where Naruto urged Mito to release him, who while conflicted did so, and both him and his friend had catch up what happened since he came back. Though he had heard an earful for snooping into his DNA which caused him some problem, but in his counter he just want his friend to be happy, also want to give him some extra power, and even if he didn't do anything he would have gained lava release anyway, he just enhance it as well as the chakra he had absorbed from Hiroku. They really had bonded over the time he visited Mito, not to mention Mito also apologized to him and asked for a chance to be his friend for the remaining of her life, which he had accepted, and they also bonded very well. Before death, Mito asked Naruto two things. One is to protect Kushina and take care of her, as they also want Minato and Kushina become a couple just like they were in the timeline Naruto came from, and his last request was to take care of Tsunade and marry her as well. Naruto was conflicted at this, but Mito and Kurama himself assured him it's okay as the timeline he came from no longer exists, and not to mention Minato and Naruto's presence healed Tsunade from the pain she felt after the death of her brother Nawaki, and she slowly started to become her old self while simultaneously fall in love with Naruto, seeing how hard he tried to take care of little Minato. Naruto then begrudgingly accepted as he knew Shizuka is already dead and it's better to be with someone you are familiar with than the complete stranger. Anyway, Kurama now is waiting for Naruto's answer, who said, "Let's check it out. Be on alert if you feel something suspicious, warn me," to which Kurama replied, "Okay," and keep alert of their surrounding as Naruto started to move towards the place where he sensed the chakra signature. Following the trail he found himself in Wave Country, which caused him to remember about Tazuna, Tsunami and Inari, but he shook his head and focused on what is present in his hand and cautiously walking to where the presence is with a slow step. Suddenly he heard something snap on his left side. He quickly turned to that side with kunai in hand, ready to defend from any enemy that is fool enough to attack him, and his cerulean orb meet with emerald eyes of a woman behind a tree. The woman is look like the same age as him, with silky raven hair tied in ponytail, pale skin and emerald. She has large bust as well as carvous body, and those who is familiar with Nadeshiko village, they will know from one glance this woman is from Nadeshiko village. Both of them look at each other with eyes wide in shock, Naruto more so than the woman, as he said, "Sure, Shizuka," while one thought going through his head, what's going on? How is she alive? And how she look like the same age as me? She is 5 years older than me. Is it genjutsu? Naruto? Is that really you? Asked the woman in disbelief. Naruto slowly took a step towards her, and just like that he walked up to Shizuka. When he was already close between her personal space, he tried to find if this is a trap or genjutsu, but found none. He even asked his furry friend, who is equally shocked as him, confirmed that it is not a genjutsu, and that did the trick, as he immediately pulled the woman into his arms and hugged her tightly to make sure she won't disappear. How you still? I thought. Oh God, I thought I lost you, said Naruto as he started crying. Right now how she is her and alive as well as the same age as him is not important to Naruto, he is just happy to have her back. Shizuka hugged back the blonde idiot that is her husband, as she is also happy to see her husband, who had changed her, made her believe in love again, whom she had fallen in love with and whom she had married. She really miss his warmth. The couple broke the hug and look at each other with happiness in their eyes and warm smile on their face, but Naruto is still confused and need to know how his wife is alive and here with him in this timeline. The last time he saw her when she died in his arm after taking a blow that is supposedly aimed at him, and it had broke him completely. After that the world had witnessed the wrath of an Uzumaki as he tore the Zetsu clone apart, and his fellow shinobi had kept their distance from him for some time. He and Shizuka is engaged due to Jiraiya's stupidity and perverseness, as he had gone to Nadeshiko for his so-called research and got caught but managed fled the village. Eventually someone is caught up to him, and this person is none other than Shizuka's mentor and the leader of Nadeshiko village, who then challenged Jiraiya in a fight where if he wins she will marry him and if he loses then he will be killed. They both fought for a long time but there wasn't a clear winner. Jiraiya also told Shizuka's mentor about his feelings towards Tsunade, and even though she was bound by the village tradition, she is also kind and empathetic, so she understood but took one promise that their student will meet and continue the tradition. Minato, who was Jiraiya's student before him, escaped it because 1. Shizuka was a child when he was a grown-up adult, and 2. He never goes towards Nadeshiko. Neither Jiraiya had told him so. Naruto was the one to continue as they only had 5 years apart from each other, and that pervert never told him as well. He had found out when he was traveling to Kumo for his Jinchuriki training and happened to run in with Shizuka and Tokiwa. Seeing Konoha symbol, both women confronted him and asked if he knew Jiraiya, to which he had answered that he knew, after all he is his mentor. Hearing this, Shizuka challenged him right away but Naruto refused. Later Tokiwa found him and told him of the deal between Jiraiya and Shizuka's mentor and how the person Shizuka loved had been killed. She then begged him to fight her to at least make her believe in love again. As he had a bleeding heart he accepted and fought Shizuka, which ended in her defeat. Shizuka then asked him to marry her, but like his idiot master he had denied and told about Sakura. He then asked her to find love again, which she accepted with sadness as she started to like Naruto. After that Naruto had left for Kumo while Shizuka bid him farewell with some sadness. Soon the fourth great ninja war had begun with Madara, Obito, and Zetsu in one side and all five great nation as well as samurai of Iron Country on other side. At first Naruto and B were kept out of the war to protect them, but Naruto soon find out because of his sage mode. He then with the help of B proceed to enter the battlefield but was stopped by Godame Hokage Tsunade and Yondaime Raikage, and after defeating Raikage in his speed battle he got permission to the battlefield. His entry in the battlefield was a relief for allied shinobi force as well as they were middle of chaos because many white Zetsu impersonating as shinobi of five great nation and started killing them, which caused a chaos as they didn't know the person before him is an imposter or not, but due to Naruto's negative emotion sensing they were saved. Later both Naruto and B encountered reanimated Jinchurikis and Obito who is using them as Rinnegan's path with the help of the Rinnegan he stole from Nagato's crops. After fighting them for a while Obito reabsorbed all six-tail beasts that he had previously unleashed as well as add the tentacle of Gyuki and sealed reanimated Kinkaku and Ginkaku of Kumo who had Kurama's chakra and proceed to awaken Jubi, but before Jubi got reincarnated both Naruto and be able to destroy Geto statue with the help of their tail beast bomb. Seeing their plan had failed Obito or that time Tobi became enraged and tried to kill Naruto and B, but they managed to defend themselves. Soon he was joined by Madara while Naruto, B, Kakashi, and Guy who both joined Naruto and B when they fighting Obito and the tail beasts was joined by remaining forces of allied shinobi forces. The fight was devastating to say the least as their plan was foiled. They proceeded to kill everyone and their main target is Naruto himself. The allied shinobi force fought them for some time but the situation wasn't good, so they decided that Naruto need to survive for them to win the war, so they help him escape, which killed both Sakura and Hinata. Naruto was really heartbroken at that, but he escaped the battlefield with many force he can get out of the range. Soon the Zetsu clone also started to attack the minor villages as well and they also got involved in this. On the other hand Sasuke had joined with his ancestor to destroy everyone. His team consists of Yugo, Suigetsu and Karen latter whom was escaped the prison of Konoha's Tandai department and joined them, saw what Sasuke trying to do will be end for them and they also understood they will be betrayed as well as it clear that Sasuke will only use them until they lost their usefulness and Karen know it very well, so they defect to Aled's side. Though Karen had another reason as she found out some Uzumaki scroll about their way of conduct, so as an Uzumaki she didn't betray Naruto but rather stay by his side and fight against the Uchihas till her last breath. Naruto reunited with Shizuka when her village also took part in the war and both of them inseparable from then on as Naruto took the command of the force after the death of 5 Kage. Shizuka was his right hand. Facing countless life and death battle both truly fall in love with each other than Shizuka who did fall in love with Naruto was Karen, but she and Naruto didn't get chance to bond deeply as she died at Sasuke's hand. Naruto was really sad about that because other than Shizuka if any woman he liked at that time it was Karen. After Karen's death Naruto feared he will lose Shizuka as well, so he always makes sure she was by his side and Shizuka was happy to do that. Soon Naruto had faced Sasuke to avenge Karen and after a long battle he managed to kill the Uchiha. After 2 years fighting together he also lose Shizuka who save him from Obito's attack and die in his arms. Enraged by his wife's death Naruto attack Obito who managed to fled the battlefield and Zetsu clones surround him. Naruto then proceed to tear them apart and his rage was diminished when he had managed to kill Obito, but by then 60% of remaining forces were killed. So Naruto led the remaining 40% to battle against Madara and remaining Zetsu clone till he managed to kill Madara, but by then only remained alive. Shizuka was 2 months pregnant when she died, so her being alive in this timeline is confusing for him. Shizuka saw what her husband is thinking and decide to explain, I was brought here by Rikudo-san 5 years ago, he said that he need me to help you and that you travel back to save the future. Knowing that you need me I accept. But then when I came here I am not in the condition to fight or travel, so I stay here until I can find you, explained Shizuka with compassion and a bit depressed for not finding her husband sooner. Naruto just smiled at her and caressed her cheek and then two kissed after long 5 years. His hand accidentally brushed her abdomen and he froze. They broke the kiss when Shizuka felt her husband stiffen in middle of make out and look at him confused. She saw he looking at her abdomen in lost and heartbroken, and she smiled softly at him in recognition. She took his hand from her stomach and held it gently while putting her other hand on his cheek, caressing it gently, and said, "Don't worry, dear. Our child come with me too that time, and I have gave birth to our daughter at the village I am staying." Naruto heard that his child is safe and born safely made him sigh in relief. He is overjoyed to learn he has a daughter. Then Shizuka is from Nadeshiko, so it's expected. He didn't even notice that his tears is flowing, but with much happiness. Kurama also smile at the Nawas and happy for his partner. He is really shocked to know that the old sage revived his partner's mate and sent her back. Can I meet her?" asked Naruto with uncertainty. Shizuka just smiled softly and pulled his arm that she already held, and they walk where she and their daughter living for past 5 years. After about half an hour, the couple found themselves walking inside the village. Every civilian in the village turned to them, well, mostly him. There is a murmur between them. Curious about what they are saying, he channeled chakra to his ear and heard. "Is that? Oh gosh, he's handsome. Hey, look, he has same beautiful blue eyes like Sarah-chan. Shizuka-chan is so lucky." He then raised a brow when he heard them talking about his wife like she is a walking celebrity. He then look at her and she whisper, "I have saved the village from a group of bandit. So they thought me as their heroes, and you know the rest." Naruto chuckled at her, and soon they reach a normal 2-story house with blue rooftop. Shizuka opened the door and announced, "I am home." Soon Naruto heard little footstep that running to their way, then a 4-year-old girl with raven hair came into sight. The girl jumped into Shizuka's arms and shouts, "Mommy," with a large smile on her face. Shizuka giggled at her daughter's antics. She is just like her father, full of energy. "How is my Sarah doing when mommy was gone? Did you give trouble to Reiha-san?" asked Shizuka in motherly tone. The girl that we now know as Sarah grinned at her mischievously, which is indication that she did something mischievous like her mother knew she would do. Shizuka sighed at her daughter, who no doubt taking after her father. Sarah then realized there was someone behind her mother and turned to the man that have same eyes as her as well as whisker-like mark on his cheek. She immediately recognized the man as she saw his picture with her mother. Imagine Shizuka and Naruto took a picture before Naruto left Nadeshiko on Shizuka's request. When she asked who is he, her mother told her that it was her father. She always listened to the story her mother told her about his father, how he was a strong and great man. How her father is a loving, caring and kind person who always think about everyone else before himself. When she asked where he is, her mother answered with longing eyes that her father is a shinobi just like her and on a mission, and one day he will come back to them when the times comes. So with her smart brain, even though she is 4-year-old, she can tell this man is her father. Her eyes widen in disbelief to finally meet her father. "Daddy," said little Sarah, hesitant and uncertainty as she is afraid that she was mistake. Naruto look at her when she call him daddy. He felt his emotion is going mess and his eyes tear up. He crouched down at her level and opened his arms wide, gesturing her to come at him. Sarah looked at her mother, who gave her a nod and gesture for her to go at him. She hesitantly started to walk towards her father, but when she saw her father gave a soft warm smile at her, she ran at him and hugged him tightly, afraid her father would vanish otherwise, and started crying. "I miss you, daddy," said Sarah as Naruto hugged her back tightly and said, "I am sorry Haim that I was away, forgive me," as Sarah nodded her head, and soon Shizuka joined the hug, feeling their family is now complete. Time skip. After the parents and daughter done their bonding, Naruto explained the situation he is in. Telling his wife that he adopted his 5-year-old father as his son because of their shared blood and appearance, as it will be suspicious otherwise. The establishment of Namikaze's clan, him being part of CRA program, and after her there is Tsunade and Kiyomi in line to marry him, his bloodlines, how he gave his bloodline to Minato, and the cover story behind their clan. It's a good thing Sarah was asleep in his arm, or she would have heard their conversation. Shizuka took every information with ease, even though she rubbed her temple in frustration at the CRA situation her husband had somehow landed, but she knew that it would the case even in their timeline. She thought having Minato as her son is not a bad idea, even though she knew that the boy supposed to be her father-in-law. She didn't have any problem treating Minato as her own, on the contrary she is overjoyed as she wants a son as well. Seeing a mother-son duo in the village made her wonder what would be like to have a son, and now that she has one she will dote on him. Hey darling, can I use my genetic rebirth seal on Sarah so she got my bloodlines, because it will be weird if she didn't have it, as I gave Minato my bloodline with the help of this seal, and don't worry, it's safe, said Naruto, to which Shizuka replied, okay, I trust you honey. I know that you are a seal master and you will not let anything happen to our daughter, but can you tell me what Minato-kun likes? As Naruto raised a brow and asked, why you ask? Earning a pout from Shizuka, who said, I can't meet my Sochi first time without any gift. Naruto was surprised at the reason but smiled and said, you can give him anything ninja related like kunai set, or any weapon, or teach him something, he will be happy, though you don't need anything, just spend time with him, you will make him happy, to which Shizuka nodded her head and thought for a moment and said, do you think he will like ninjato? Naruto nodded at that and asked, he will, so you are gonna give him a ninjato? To which Shizuka nodded her head and said, I had brought a ninjato from a blacksmith that came to the village from Iron Country. I don't know why, but I felt like I should brought it, that soon I am going to meet a person who will need it. Naruto surprised at that and said, really? As Shizuka nodded her head. Oh well, I think he would love it, but he would be more delighted if you teach him how to use it, said Naruto as Shizuka nodded her head. After that Shizuka go to the kitchen to prepare dinner for her family while Naruto play with Sarah, who had woken up after some time. They then pack up everything, then eat dinner and go to bed. Morning came soon as Shizuka and Sarah said goodbye and thank you to the people that helped them in the past, and then they left for Konoha. Minato is really happy because he heard that his father would be come back today. He has missed his father very much, even though he got to spend time with his favorite aunt Tsunade, who's soon going to be his mother as well, and he knew it. But his happiness is not because he got to see his father again, well, that is also applicable, but he is even more delighted as he heard from his father's summon that the woman his father had originally fallen in love with still alive, and he would be having a little sister. Minato is really delighted as he is nervous, delighted because there would be new addition in the family. Nervous because he don't know if his stepmother and his half-sister would like him. Once he heard the news, he immediately cleaned the room for his baby sis and a bit cleanup for his father bedroom. After that he stocked the groceries that started to get empty with the help of both Mikoto and Kushina, who met with him in the market and helped him, though he didn't know why both girls suddenly became clingy to him. Anyway, it's a good thing that today is day off for the academy so he can prepare to welcome his new family members. As he put all the groceries to the cabinet, he heard the front door open and he heard his father's voice, I am home. Minato. Can you come here for a moment? There is someone I want you to meet. Hearing his father calling him, he hurriedly goes to him, knowing that he will meet with his stepmother and half-sister. Soon he reached drawing room and stopped in front of his father and asked, what is it, Dad? Naruto smiled and back off a little for him to see two figures. One is an adult woman and the other is a little girl hiding behind the woman, probably a mother and child. He studied the woman first and see that she is the same age as his father, with beautiful silky raven hair tied into a ponytail. Her eyes is of deep green color as if they are the emerald itself, and her skin is of pale complexion. All in all, she is one of the most beautiful women he has seen. He can understand why his father fall in love with her. Soon their eyes met. The woman gave him a warm motherly smile. Seeing a genuine smile directed at him, he smiled back, then his eyes turned to the little girl that's still hiding behind her mother while giving a peek behind her mother's legs. Soon he met with dark raven hair like the woman before him. A pair of cerulean eyes looking at him curiously. The girl looked 4-year-old. Let me introduce you. This is my wife Shizuka, the woman I fall in love. I know it will take time for you to open up and treat her as your own mother, but she will be your mother from now on, said Naruto in a soft tone, as he don't want to make Minato feel trapped and force him into this kind of situation. He already had messed up with accepting marriage contract between Minato and Mikoto, but he had his hand tied. He just hope his son would understand. He know everything happening so fast, but he really hope Minato won't hold a grudge against him. Minato gave a small nod in understand, causing Naruto to smile at him and ruffle his hair. Shizuka then stepped forward and kneeled down to reach Minato's level and said, Hello Sochi, I was really excited to meet you. I know it would take time for you to accept but know this, whatever you choose you will always be my baby boy, and pull Minato in a hug, who returns it but his face is red with embarrassment though he really liked the feeling. Soon they broke the hug and Shizuka unsealed the ninjato and gave it to Minato and said, "I hope you like it," to which Minato replied with a small thank you. After that both Naruto and Shizuka notice that Minato is staring at their daughter, who now hiding behind her father. Both parents chuckle at their 4-year-old daughter, who has a shy but curious look at her face while she looking at her brother curiously. Naruto then put his hand on his daughter's shoulder, who jumped at sudden physical contact as she looked up to her father with curiosity. Naruto gave a small smile at his daughter and said, "Let's go sweetie," as Sarah hesitantly took a step forward and her cerulean eyes met with Minato's own cerulean one, and Naruto then said, "Minato, this is Sarah Namikaze, your half-sister. Sarah-chan, say hello to your big brother," as he introduced both brother and sister. Sarah nodded at him curtly and hesitantly walked to her big brother and shyly looked at him and said, "Hi, I am Sarah. Nice to meet you, Oni-chan." Minato smiled at his little sister and he crouched to her level and offered his hand and said, "Hello Sarah-chan. I am Minato Namikaze, nice to meet you. Let's get along alright." Sarah nodded shyly and took Minato's hand. Naruto smiled at them, glad Minato accepts Sarah, and suggests, "Minato, how about you show your sister around?" And Minato nodded at that, and soon the children were gone, leaving the parents behind, who sighed in relief when they saw Minato and Sarah got along. At least for Minato, Sarah is still little and didn't understand very much as she's still 4-year-old. So seeing Minato accepting Sarah as his little sister is a great relief. Naruto also believed that soon Minato will warm up and accept Shizuka, as he always want a mother's love. After Shizuka and Sarah finally settle down a little, taking rest after been traveled for nearly 2 days, it's already time for dinner. Even though tired, Shizuka decided to make dinner but stopped by Naruto, who told her to take rest, but Shizuka protested and said she want to cook for her family as this is the first time she met her baby boy, and with a sigh Naruto let her cook for them as he knew she wants to do anything for Minato as well as Sarah. Soon the food is ready and she calls, "Dinner's ready," as everyone washed their hand and sit down on the table and started to eat while having a good conversation. "So Minato, I heard from Hokage-sama that you rescued Kushina-chan from getting kidnapped by Kyumo. Well done, I am proud of you," praised Naruto, with Shizuka smiled and nodded her head. Minato blushed at the praise he got from his parents and then grinned, feeling great that he did the right thing. A month has passed. Naruto brought Shizuka and Sarah brought back to Konoha, and the villagers was in uproar when they heard that the Fox Sannin and Namikaze clan head Naruto is a married man and have a 4-year-old daughter that just looked like her mother for having same raven hair but inherited her father's blue eyes. Everyone been asking who the wife is and where she is from, as they have seen her walking around the village with a mini copy of her with blue eyes, mostly at the market district. Every time they land an eyes on her, they can say she is beautiful. With silky long raven hair, her pale skin shining as the light reflected on it, while her eyes like a pair of rare emerald, with her body being slim as she also has rather large asset, being prove that how perfect she is and how other girls would kill to get what she have. No wonder the Fox Sannin is attracted to her, and they also can't comment about it as the two are perfect for each other. Both of them are perfect for each other with how handsome and beautiful both of them are and how they both look happy with each other. People can't complain, well, except the fangirls and fanboys for both of them. As the rumor about Shizuka being Naruto's wife spread widely, a council meeting was called where Naruto introduced Shizuka and Sarah to other clan head and Hokage, who then asked where she was in this time. So Naruto and Shizuka proceed to tell that how they were attacked when their guard was down and it caused them to get separated, and Naruto had thought that she had died, but in reality she was in Land of Wave where villagers took care of her and she gave birth to their daughter. And then Naruto explain how he had found Shizuka and Sarah in Land of Wave while he is returning from the mission he was assigned to. Hearing this, the clan head nod their heads in satisfaction and they inform Shizuka about her husband being in CRA to restore their clan, to which Shizuka nod her head in understanding as she knew about all this because Naruto had informed her already. Minato has slowly but surely warmed up to Shizuka. There is still a little awkward atmosphere between them when they were alone, but it's not awkward when they talk to each other about something they have in common. Shizuka also offered him to train to use kenjutsu, which Minato agreed to, and soon their bond became more deep as they trained, and Minato could clearly say he is lucky to have such caring mother who would dote on him while became strict while teaching him. In this time Shizuka has met with both Tsunade and Kiyomi, as both of them going to be her sister wives, and soon they became best friends, though it was difficult at first to make Kiyomi open up, who was stoic most of the time, so she didn't have to show her pain to others. Kiyomi didn't expect to have any kind of love or anything like that, as all the man she met only want to slaps her and then leave, as she is half-blooded Uchiha and a result of her mother's rape. So when Kagami informed her that she is betrothed to famous Fox Sanin, he was surprised and asked why, to which Kagami answered that it was for two reasons: one, to give her a happy married life as Naruto is his friend and a good man at heart, so she will be happy, and two, to create an alliance between Uchiha and Namikaze, which she accepted, but angry to hear he also arranged a marriage between Minato and Mikoto, and Kiyomi didn't want that, so to protect Mikoto and her future child from the torment she has gone through, but Kagami reassured her and said he has done this because Mikoto loved Minato, and it will give massage that the half-blooded will also have to treat with equal respect as pure-blooded, and other than that no one in the clan is worthy for his daughter, so with a sigh she accepted. Kiyomi now knew her brother took right decision, as Naruto has treated her like a princess and take her to dates when he has time, and soon she started to fall for him as well, and now she has met with the woman who fall first for her fiancé, and she has found a sister in her, and not to mention Tsunade as well, who is also her best friend. Anyway, now Shizuka can be seen on her way to pick up her son, as she done it whenever her husband didn't have time to do that. With her is her daughter, who also tag along to pick up her brother as her husband has left for a mission again. Shizuka wants to start her career as kunoichi again, but since she was an outsider she had to go through the prohibition of 6 months by Hokage. If he didn't do that, the people would get suspicious of them getting assets in the village easily. Soon the mother-daughter duo arrive at the academy and saw that other parent that waiting for their kids also there. While they wait for the children to come out, one of the mother approached Shizuka and Sarah and greet them with smile. It's been a while, Shizuka-chan. How are you? Oh, Sarah-chan is here too. Hello. Sarah-chan, it's nice to meet you as well. The woman that greet her have brown hair and onyx eyes. She is Nara matriarch, Mitsuki Nara. Shizuka smiled back at the woman and greet her back. I am fine, Mitsuki-chan. How about you? As the woman smiled and replied, I am fine as well, and the two idly started their conversation, mostly about their children and their husband. Soon the bell rang, signaling the end of school, and the children started to walk out one by one and goes to their parents. Sarah soon spotted her brother's blonde hair and exclaimed, Oni-chan, as she excitedly waved her hand to get attention of her brother. The blonde boy is with one of his best friends. Shikaku. Nara looked towards the direction he heard his sister and saw his mother and sister has came to pick him up and run towards their direction, with Shikaku trail behind as he spotted his mother with Shizuka. Shizuka smiled when she saw her son approaching towards them, and Sarah already run to her brother and jumped to him and hugged him. Minato hugged his sister back and smiled a little. Minato is really happy to have a sister that love him and a mother who accepted him as her son and dote on him. He is glad to have this lovely family and knew it will become big soon. It is all he always dreamed. He put his little sister down on the ground with grin on his face while he ruffled his sister's hair, making said girl pout at her brother for ruining her tamed hair and making it messy. Minato chuckled at that and gave a smile to his step. No, his mother in greeting, because after how much effort the woman put to make him feel loved and cherished, he can't insult her as thinking her just stepmom, because she is more than that. Shizuka smiled back at him fondly and asked, how was the school, Mina-chan? Do you have any problem in the class? To which Minato blushed a little at the nickname but hugged his mother, who hugged him back, and he said, no mom, I don't have any problem, but could you train me at kenjutsu after we go home? To which Shizuka chucked and ruffled her son's hair and said, sure Sochi, but first we have to go to market to buy some groceries, okay? To which Minato nodded his head, and the trio of mother, son and daughter left the academy and started to go towards market as Minato chatted about his progress to become great ninja like Naruto. Shizuka giggled at her children's enthusiasm, then she smiled fondly while thinking about her beloved husband. Her husband left for mission today and she is already missing him dearly, and only thing she can do is pray for his safety. Now Naruto can be seen running through the forest towards the border of Land of Fire and Land of Water. He is on his self-mission again. He had delayed it long enough with whole fiasco of bringing Shizuka and Sarah to the village and spend time with his family as well as Tsunade and Kiyomi. He had to find Madara and Zetsu and end them for good this time so he can live with his beautiful family and don't have to worry about losing them again. The last time he is on a mission he sensed Zetsu's presence on the north way from Land of Fire's border and he would have followed the trail, but he have to save an Uzumaki Kunoichi as well as another one with white hair that were surrounded by missing Nin who no doubt wanted to rape her. So he decided to save them and escort them to Uzushio while he sent his summon to track the trail, and luckily for him his summon has found them. So he is now on his way to confront those two bastards and end them for good. Soon he arrive in front of a cave and Naruto can feel the presence of the person that he really want to rip apart. Naruto then take a deep breath to calm himself down and go inside the cave. As he is walking inside he felt the presence is getting stronger and stronger, and soon he see into the view of old Uchiha and his weed. They were shocked that someone has tracked them and find them. Satisfied at the shocked look he was getting, Naruto gave a bloodthirsty smirk and said, "Yo Madara. Zetsu. Get ready, soon I will send you both to hell," as he used his space-time seal to completely cut off the exit and took a fighting stance as he determined to kill both of the person that once destroyed whole world. In the drawing room of the Namikaze compound, three ladies can be seen talking with each other. They are none other than Shizuka, Kiyomi and Tsunade. As Naruto is out on his mission, the three ladies decided to have a sleepover as it will make them more close because one of them already married to Naruto while other two are his fiancé. Shizuka has already put the kids to bed as they are tired from playing with their aunt, as both Tsunade and Kiyomi really like the kids and became very close with them. As they were talking to each other they heard a hard thump sound on the front door as all of them narrowed their eyes, and Shizuka cautiously walked to the front door and slowly opened it with Tsunade and Kiyomi hidden ready to strike at moment notice. Shizuka's eye widened as she looked at the person covered in blood from head to toe as the perso grinned at her fondly and said, "Good afternoon, my beautiful wife." "Naruto?" exclaimed Shizuka in fear as she hurriedly moved forward to catch her husband who started to fall down. Hearing Shizuka's exclamation, both Tsunade and Kiyomi hurriedly came to the front door and horrified to their fiancé heavily injured, but they steeled their nerves and helped Shizuka to carry their beloved inside the house. Shizuka's scream had woken up both Minato and Sarah as both of them hurriedly goes downstairs to check what the commotion is about, but became horrified when they saw how badly their father is injured. As they hurriedly go towards the adults. "Dad?" exclaimed Minato, scared for his father, while Sarah is already beside their father crying, who is laying on the couch as Kiyomi prepare clean towel and bucket of water to clean the blood of him while Tsunade is healing him. Naruto looked at his children and smiled softly at them and said, "Don't worry, I am alright, and Tsu-chan is already taking care of my wound, so wipe away your tears, and I am not going to die this easily as I still want to see you two become great ninja you two dream of, get married and made me grandpa, and until I see all those I am not going to die, and it's promise of a lifetime," as the kids hug their father, not caring that their night cloths are now covered in blood. Shizuka, Tsunade and Kiyomi look at the scene with tears in their eyes as they know what it's like to lose someone important to you. This is the life that the ninja had to go through. There will always be time when they lose the one they love and cherished. So all three women felt guilt to let the children get experience of how hard the life of shinobi is. After some time Naruto had cleaned up and changed his uniform to civilian cloths and sat on the couch. The children don't want to leave him, so they now is sleeping in their room where a clone is with them while he is with his wife and fiancé. "Naruto-kun, care to tell us how you became so injured?" asked Kiyomi, earning a sigh from Naruto, who is contemplating whether it's safe to talk about Madara in front of Kiyomi and Tsunade. With another sign Naruto decided to break the news. "Well, this isn't confidential information and three of you have to promise that you will not reveal this to anyone," said Naruto, confusing all three ladies, though Shizuka has a feeling it's about a certain Uchiha who caused many problem in their time. Seeing there is nothing better to do, all of them agreed to keep it a secret as it might be a vital information if Naruto is asking them for secrecy. After getting their promise, Naruto said, "Well, I was injured because I had faced Madara Uchiha and his lackey Zetsu, causing Tsunade and Kiyomi's eyes to widen in shock while Shizuka sighed softly as her intuition became correct." "What do you mean you fought Madara Uchiha?" "He was killed by my grandfather," said Tsunade, shocked as Kiyomi nodded with her. Naruto just sighed at that and said, "Well, he has survived and faked his death and was still on the living before I fought him and killed him," shocking Tsunade and Kiyomi. "Well, how did you find him and why go against him alone?" asked Kiyomi, to which Naruto answered, "You can say for revenge as well as to make sure that bastard doesn't create any more problem." "Revenge? For what?" asked Shizuka as Naruto answered, "Well, that bastard along with his lackey is manipulating everything in shadows that's lead my clan's village being destroyed as well as the destruction of Senju clan, and during fight I came to learn he wants to destroy Uzumaki as well as Uchiha clan as well. The reason is he was betrayed by Uchihas in the past and only Uchiha, Senju and Uzumaki has the power to stop him. He has already created multiple scenario that lead Senju to die out as Tsunade is the only living member, but he had targeted Uzumaki and Senju as well and I can't ignore this." Hearing Naruto's explanation, both Kiyomi and Tsunade paled at what the old Uchiha had planned. After that, Naruto started to tell them about the fight as how he had created a clone which was controlled by Kurama, who faced Zetsu while he had faced Madara himself. Killing Zetsu was easy as even though that bastard is slippery he can't go out of the cave as it was sealed with space-time seal, so Kurama had managed to kill him after he paralyzed him with paralysis seal and then burn him alive with his fox fire. Kurama then joined Naruto and both had fought Madara and it took full 2 hours to kill that bastard as the old goat too stubborn to die and was throwing jutsu one after another. Naruto got hit by one of these jutsu that is of wood style and thus got himself injured. He has survived long enough to reach the village due to his longevity and Kurama's chakra that is healing him. Fighting Madara shows Naruto that how weak he truly is and how much he have to improve. Anyway, after fighting for 2 hours they managed to kill the madman and Kurama has burned the body. He knew if he take rest a little the wound will heal faster, but he want to reach his home faster to hug his wife and said to her that she don't have to worry, any tier world will not be destroyed again. He knew that there are still many threat that they have to take care of, but at this moment they can be in peace. That's how he ended up even worse than he was after the battle. He was a bit embarrassed and guilty to show his bloody appearance to the kids, making them sad and scared of losing him. After Naruto's explanation ended, he was embraced by the 3 most important women in his life as they scold him for being an idiot. Naruto accepted all their scolding and after that they go to beds with 3 embracing their love. Time skip 4 years. It's been 4 years. Naruto and Kurama had successfully eliminated Madara and Zetsu and many things had happened in those 4 years. For example, he had befriended Tsukumo, they became best friend. In this time Naruto has also married both Tsunade and Kiyomi, and Minato and Sarah was happy to have 2 more mother as they both love the kids, though Sarah is more close to Kiyomi while Minato is more close to Tsunade. Now today is the day Minato graduated from Ninja Academy and became a genin starting tomorrow. The test consists of written test, shuriken and kunai throwing, taijutsu, basic ninjutsu, and for extra credit if you knew any elemental or clan jutsu. Minato was confident that he will pass and make his father and mother proud. He have been working hard under the tutelage of his father as well as 3 mothers, though it's mainly Shizuka who train him as Kiyomi train Mikoto while Tsunade busy with hospital, but both help his training whenever they could. In this past 4 years Minato get himself to Chunin level as his father has told him, with his mother agree with him. Minato is now in his class with Mikoto and Kushina sitting beside him. In this 4 year both girl became very close to Minato. Both girls have given indication that they like Minato, but he is as dense as Naruto was in his past, much to his wife's amusement, mainly Shizuka's, who had told other 2 about how Naruto himself was dense in the past. Anyway, as everyone is sitting in the class, Minato saw Habara sensei came in the room with Sejiro sensei as his assistant and the classroom got quiet. No one wanted to get into Habara sensei bad side, as he can be scary when angered. Habara sensei looked at them with sad but proud smile on his face and said, "Alright, all of you already know, today is your graduation day and we will give you a test to see if you are cut out to become genin of Leaf Village. Now since we don't want to waste any times, let's start." shall we, and good luck students. Time skip. Minato came out from the academy building with his headband on his forehead showing everyone he is now a shinobi of the village. When he was outside he spotted his father and his expression turned to happiness as he exclaimed, "Dad," and run to where his father is standing. Naruto saw his son and waved at him with proud grin when he saw the Hitai 8 tied at his son's forehead. When Minato is finally in front of him, Naruto ruffled his hair with wide grin and said, "Congrats son. I know you will pass the test. Now let's wait for Kushina-chan and Mikoto-chan. As soon as they came out we will go home and celebrate you 3 achievement," to which Minato's face lit up and he said, "Okay dad, but is mom cooking today or Mama Kyo cooking today?" To which Naruto chuckled and said, "Well, both your mother cooking together." To which Minato's face lit up as he always enjoys his mother's Shizuka and Kiyomi as well as father's cooking, while as much as he loves Tsunade she suck at cooking. Soon both Kushina and Mikoto came out, and when they saw Naruto both of them run to him and show their headband, to which Naruto chuckled at his future daughter-in-law's enthusiasm and pat their head. After that all 4 of them started to walk towards Namikaze's compound. Next day in the Hokage office, many jonin are gathered around. Even Naruto was in there and having a conversation with other jonin. The Hokage is sitting in the desk inhaling his pipe while waiting for the last person to join them. Soon he heard a shuffling on the window by his side and turned and see a man with spiky long white hair, brown eyes with red marking under his eyes appear and said, "Sorry, I am late. I just came back from my research." Hiruzen Sarutobi the Sandaime Hokage sighed at his student's antics and said, "It's alright, Jiraiya. At least you are not that late, go to your position, we are just getting started," to which Jiraiya nod his head and stand next to a guy with brown hair, clearly a jonin. Hiruzen clear his throat getting his shinobi's attention and stated, "Since everyone already here, let's start with which of you will be charge of which team and who are the genin member of the team. Start with Team 1. 15 minutes later. Team 6, consist of Hisashi Hyuga, Kushina Uzumaki and Ryuichi Uchiha. Their sensei would be Naruto Namikaze. There was whisper between the jonin, "Well, who won't when the person they are talking about a famous shinobi?" Naruto nodded in acceptance. He then felt someone's gaze at him and turned to see Jiraiya looking at him curiously. He gave a nod in greeting and the man nodded back doing the same. At first they start with wrong foot as Jiraiya is known to be Tsunade's shimp while Tsunade fell in love with him and now married to him, but after some time their relation became civil as Jiraiya had accepted the fact Tsunade will not see him as potential love interest. Team 7 consists of Mikoto Uchiha, Minato Namikaze and Sora Yamanaka. Their sensei would be Jiraiya. Others whispered again when they heard Jiraiya's name as he became quite famous mainly for being a spy master. Sarutobi again cleared his throat and said, "Team 8 will be Tsum Inuzuka, Hayashi Hyuga and Shibi Aburame. Their sensei would be Kazami Yoroi. Team 9 will be Hitomi Hyuga, Hiroki Takumi, Shoji Kurama. Their sensei would be Itsushi Yamanaka. And lastly Team 10, Choza Akimichi, Shikamaru Nara and Inoichi Yamanaka. Their sensei will be Takashi Sakayanagi." That's all for genin placement. If anyone want to speak anything, just speak before I dismissed you. Everyone look at one another until Jiraiya asked, "I want to ask, shouldn't this Minato kid better placed in his father's team rather than mine, since he would know what to teach or what to look into?" Everyone was quiet and thinking the same as Jiraiya. Hiruzen looked at Naruto who answered, "It's alright Jiraiya-san, I have trained my son for this 7 years and it's best if he learns something else from someone else, it will make his growth better, so I hope you don't mind teaching my son of what necessary." Everyone in the room became flabbergasted at the statement Naruto provided, even Jiraiya, well except Hiruzen who looked satisfied at the answer that was given. He then cleared his throat, getting everyone's attention and said, "Is Naruto-kun's answer satisfy you Jiraiya?" To which Jiraiya nodded. Hiruzen about to dismiss everyone when Naruto asked, "Hokage-sama, is the Uchiha boy you have assigned to me, was he on reserve?" To which Naruto nodded his head and said, "Yeah, he actually 2 years older than others and put to reserve after his teammate and sensei get killed. I hope you can guide him." To which Naruto said, "No problem Hokage-sama." After that Hiruzen dismissed everyone. Minato is waiting with his classmate for their Jonin sensei to pick them up. They already knew about who is on which team, though they didn't know who their sensei will be, as Habra sensei didn't announce it. He just watched other teams started to leave with their sensei until teams 6 and 7 remained. Soon the door opened and Minato saw his dad came in, so he exclaimed, "Dad," to which Naruto gave him a 2-finger salute and said, "Yo," and then turned to Kushina and her team and said, "Team 6, meet me at training ground 16 in 5 minutes. Late? You will get consequence," and disappear in a flash of crimson lightning. Everyone was silent for a moment until they heard Minato groaned and said in disappointment, "Aw man, Dad wasn't our sensei." He then turned to Team 6 and said, "You guys better hurry up, because one thing, my dad is known to keep his word, so if he says there will be consequence, then you would get a consequence." Hearing the warning, Team 6 hurriedly goes after their sensei where they supposed to meet, leaving Team 7 in the classroom. After Naruto left the classroom, Team 6 hurriedly moved towards the training ground, and when they reach the training ground they see that Naruto and a black-haired boy is sitting on the ground. Sensing his other 2 students already reached their location, Naruto opened their eyes and said, "Good, you are on time. I give you a moment to take breath, then we will start with introduction," earning a nod from both genin as they sit down and take some rest. After about 2 minutes, they managed to calm their breathing. Naruto nodded when he saw his would-be student calm enough to speak. "Alright, let's start with introduction. Name, age and birthday, like, dislike, hobbies and dreams." "Who will start first?" state Naruto casually, to which Kushina shyly said, "You can go first, sensei." Naruto nodded and started to introduce himself. "My name is Naruto Namikaze, you can call me Naruto sensei, age 30, birthday October 10th. I love my smiley, ramen, foxes, and creating new jutsu. I dislike betrayer, traitor, someone abandon their comrade, arrogant, too prideful, stuck-up people, rapist. My hobbies are cooking, training, and making new seal. For my dream, it's already fulfilled." "Next, you go, Kushina-chan." Kushina's shyness turned into a grin. "My name is Kushina Uzumaki, age 13, birthday July 10th. I love my family, my village in Yuzushio. I love Konoha too, ramen, dango, my friends, dislike perverts, arrogant bastards, dash." Kushi-chan language, scolded Naruto like a father as Kushina continued, "Sorry sensei, my hobbies are training and cooking, and my dream is to be Hokage Databane." Naruto nodded in approval, grinning back at her warmly. He then turned to his 2 male students. The Hyuga and Uchiha were tensed with each other, no doubt because of the clan rivalry of dojutsu. Naruto coughed, getting attention of the 2 as they turn towards their sensei. They see Naruto has an unimpressed look on his face as he said, "I know that the both of your clan had history of being rivalry with each other dojutsu, but I won't tolerate with those behavior in my team. As a team, we work together and defense each other back. You are a team now, and your teammate are what will make you strong. It's a testament to your own strength if you can see the strength in other people and learn to work with them. Letting your teammate down because of pride or arrogance means you are just as weak as those who don't have enough physical strength. Weaker because you have no excuse." The 3 genin nodded with awe in their eyes. Naruto nodded at them in approval, proud that they're listen. He clapped and gestured for Ryuchi to continue, so the Uchiha said, "My name is Ryuchi Uchiha, age 15, birthday August 18th. I love training, onigiri and fried chicken. Dislike someone underestimate me and my clan's arrogant attitude. My hobbies are training and drawing. My dream is to be a strong shinobi that don't have to always depend on clan's bloodline." Naruto smiled at him and nodded in approval. He then turned to his Hyuga student. Hisashi saw his turn. He nodded and started introducing himself. "My name is Hisashi Hyuga. Age 13, birthday January 8th. I like my brother, training and tea. Dislike betrayal, traitor and torture. My hobbies are training with my brother, and my dream is to become strong enough to be stand by my brother's side and support his dream." Naruto then looked at his charges and said, "Alright, you all have unique personality and I like that. Even though you have graduated, you aren't exactly genin yet, to which Kushina asked, "What do you mean, sensei?" "There is one more test Academy graduates are required to complete if they want to stay ninjas. Otherwise it's back to the academy if you still want to try again," Naruto explained, earning a nod from three teenager, and Kushina asked excitedly, "What is it?" as she is eager to prove her worth. Naruto smirked at them, and the three teens shiver at the look their sensei gave them. Each of them think same thing, "Oh. This will be the hell for us." In training ground 7, Minato look at his Jonin sensei rather unimpressed, his two teammate also do the same. His sensei Jiraiya introduced himself with smugness all over his face. Not only that, he is a major pervert and even shamelessly boasting it. Soon it was Minato's turn to introduce himself. "My name is Minato Namikaze. I am 13-year-old, I like my family, training with my dad and spending time with my sister. My dream is to become a great shinobi like my dad." When he finished, Jiraiya sensei told them that they aren't exactly genin yet, so he give them a test to pass. They had to get the bell from him until afternoon. If they don't, they fail the test. As expected, Minato caught true meaning behind the test quickly, which is teamwork, since he knew there are no such thing as 3-member genin squad unless one of them died or promoted. It is also because his father grilling about teamwork in his head. So he told this to his teammate and they agreed to work together to get the bell. After using every plan that came to their head, they finally got the bells and they officially made genin. After that they were dismissed, so when Minato and Mikoto coincidentally walked where Team 6 is training, both of their jaw dropped at the sight of the training ground. It was half destroyed with crumbling earth, burning grass and chopped trees. Then he caught sight of his former classmates limping while breathing heavily. Their clothes were tattered and their face smeared with dirt and scratch. He also spotted his father standing in front of them untouched with smug on his face. "Dad," he called, and his father turned to him grinning. Minato. How was your test? Did you pass?" asked his father. Minato just nodded, still dumbfounded, and walked to them with Mikoto in tow. As he reached his father ruffled his as well as Mikoto's hair and said, "Congratulations, then I know you can do it." Naruto then turned towards his 3 students and said with a proud grin, "Congratulations, Team 6. You all pass. We will start our training tomorrow in 5 a.m., in the afternoon we will go to our first mission. That's all for today." Dismissed. After that Naruto disappeared via Shunshin. Minato and Mikoto look at their friends with concern and pity, and Minato asked, "You guys alright?" He don't get an answer immediately since they are catching their breath. Kushina is the first one to recover since Uzumaki had so much stamina. "Minato. Pant, your dad is insane," said Kushina, groaning in her breath. Minato scratched the back of his head and said bluntly without remorse, "Well, that's how my dad trained me. His training was harsh sometime, but it worth it." Team 6 and Mikoto look at their former classmate in pity and wonder. They knew that Minato is strong, stronger than them. If Minato's achievement come from his father, then Team 6 felt honored to have Naruto Namikaze as their sensei. The 3 official genin couldn't help but get excited of what kind of training they will get from legendary Sannin starting tomorrow. Time skip 3 years. It's been 3 years Minato became a shinobi and now he is 16 years old. He and his team has already become a chunin, so do the other teams. In this 3 year many things changes in Minato's life as he trained to become a good shinobi in Jiraiya's care and his father's guidance. Though soon enough his mother took his team under her command, as Jiraiya was a massive pervert and ditched to go peep on women in hot springs. While it is true the self-proclaimed super pervert leaves something for them to do instead, nothing he will not present there to help them when they face some trouble, and that make 3 13-year-old frustrated and annoyed. So Minato decided to take the matter in his own hand and goes to his father, and his team followed since they know that the blonde would always goes to his father when he had a problem with his training session. Naruto would always welcome Team 7 to join his team for training, though he wondered how his father got stronger if Jiraiya is on the one that trained him, and Kurama answer his partner's question with saying that Minato is a hard worker despite him a born genius. Hearing what his tenant said is make sense, he continued teaching his students as well as his son's team. Jiraiya although joined them due him threatening the pervert that he would put a powerful barrier so he can't peep, well he put the seal anyway since he didn't want the pervert to peep on his wives and daughter when they visit the bathhouse. Anyway, it is very rare and Naruto himself became irritated with this just as much as his son's team was, so he suggested they complain about this to Hokage, who would scold Jiraiya and force him to teach his son's team properly. What Naruto didn't expect that Shizuka was present outside when Minato explained their situation to Hiruzen and became enraged, so after Team 7 left, Shizuka requested, or more like demanded, the Hokage to put her baby boy's team under her care, which Hiruzen had complied, and next day Shizuka gives surprise to not only Minato but also Naruto as well when she arrived to take her team to the designated training ground. When Shizuka explained Team 7 that she is their new sensei, Minato jumped in joy and hugged his mother, who returned the hug while giggled at her son's antics. After that, both Shizuka and Naruto had started to train their team, and the genin are really grateful to get such strong shinobi as their teacher. Soon the Chunin exam came and all of them passed with flying color and became a Chunin, much to both Naruto and Shizuka's pride. As they progress in their shinobi life, Minato started to make name for himself and had put in bingo book as Yellow Flash, it make Naruto of his son. Other than that, both Tsunade and Kiyomi has given birth to Naruto's child. With both of them coincidentally giving birth to twins, with Tsunade giving birth to two sons who have same hair and eye color as Naruto and Minato, while Kiyomi given birth to a blonde-haired onyx-eyed son and black-haired blue-eyed daughter. In this time Naruto also married two other kunoichi who are none other than the two he had rescued. As for how it happened, well, he and his wife Shizuka has gone to Uzushio to set a marriage contract between Minato and Kushina, as Shizuka herself had informed her son about Uchiha contract that Naruto had signed, and he can also marry Kushina as to help expand their clan, earning a blush from the teens. Shizuka noticed that Minato, while dense, had caught on both girls' feelings but didn't act on it, while Kushina and Mikoto's friendship became a fierce rivalry to gain Minato's affection, which was quite hilarious. But Shizuka thought that her baby boy has suffered enough and sat the three teen down and explained the situation, and they came to term and agreed to share Minato, though they strictly told Minato no other women will be allowed to have him, earning an embarrassed nod from Minato. Anyway, as they reach Uzushio and propose the marriage contract, the Uzukage, who is also Kushina's father, accepted it, as he wants his baby girl to be happy as well as he is grateful to the couple before him for saving his clan from destruction. Though he accepted it in one condition: he would marry Sumi Uzumaki and Mira Kagaya, the girls he had rescued, earning a shocked look from both Naruto and Shizuka, and they asked why he asking Naruto to marry them, to which the Uzumaki clan had explained that they simply refused any and all suitors in Uzushio and clearly stated that if anyone they would marry it will be Naruto, earning a surprised look from the couple. After much contemplation, Shizuka had agreed to it, as it would further expand their clan, as the child Tsunade gave birth will be part of Senju, as Naruto has sensed wood style in both boys along with his lava style. The other reason is giving Kushina feel at home if there is another Uzumaki there with her, and they can't risk anything that would break Minato and Kushina apart. When Minato and Sarah had heard about it, they became happy even more to gain new family members. Now Minato can be seen walking towards Namake's compound as he had just came back from mission. As he opened the door, his nose caught his first mother Shizuka's cooking smell. Smiling fondly, he relaxed and announced, "I am home," as someone replied to him, "Welcome home," that he recognized as his mother's lovely voice. He slid off his shinobi sandal and walked inside Namake's mansion to where he heard his mother, that is none other than the kitchen. When he got there, he was surprised to see his father there sitting drinking tea while reading some scroll. He saw that his father looked up and smiled fondly at him and said, "Welcome home, son. How was the mission?" Minato smiled was strained, but he still smiled nonetheless and said, "It was exhausting, but it's not something I can't handle," though it was evident to both Naruto and Shizuka that something had happened in the mission, and Shizuka go towards Minato and hug him, with Minato returning the hug as he felt at peace in his mother's arm. Shizuka then said, "Get some rest, okay? We will talk about it later," earning a nod from Minato. Shizuka then kissed Minato's forehead and broke the hug, earning a smile from Minato, as he was quite happy to get his mother's affection as he go to his room, though he wonder where her other mothers are, but then shrug, they probably taking rest or visiting some friend. After some time, a 12-year-old Sarah just got back home from academy, when she felt her elder brother's chakra in the house, she felt ecstatic and overjoyed. I am home. Mom, Dad. Is Nin-chan already back from mission? Asked Sarah happily as she run to where her father and mother is. Her parents saw her, they can't help but chuckled at their daughter who is energetic as usual, and Naruto greet his daughter, welcome home princess, and yes, your brother just got back, so let him take rest, then you can interrogate him to tell you the stories about his mission. Sarah pouted cutely, but she nodded her head in understatement and just do what her father said. Time skipped to dinner. As the dinner was served, all the member of Namikaze's family sat down and having dinner together, with Minato telling stories about his mission to his siblings, with Naruto sometime asking some question while the other members giggle at their child and husband. Only Shizuka is quiet, and Naruto noticed this and asked in concern, "Honey? What's wrong?" And this got everyone's attention, though Tsunade had a feeling why Shizuka acting like this. Shizuka looked up from her food and said nervously, "I have to tell you something," as Naruto nodded, telling her to go on. Shizuka took a deep breath and said, "I am pregnant," as everyone other than Tsunade's eye widened in shock, and Naruto is the first one to recover and he asked, "Pregnant?" uncertain if he heard correct. Shizuka nodded, confirmed that he heard correct, and smiled when she saw her husband's eyes lit up in joy. Naruto immediately hugged his wife and asked, "How long?" to which his wife replied, 2 weeks. I got to check 2 days ago and do the ultrasound and it's twin, as she rubbed her still flat belly. Naruto's eye lit up and he said, "Twin? Really?" as Shizuka nodded her head and Naruto again hugged her tightly. By this time others came out of their stupor and they give their congratulation to Shizuka and the kids, happy to have another 2 siblings, though Sumi and Myra's child were too small to understand what's going on as they are just 1 year old. Naruto is as ecstatic as he is worried because of changing so much. They don't know when the third shinobi war will start, or rather if it happen at all, but both he and Kara determined to erase any threat that may rise so the peace will stay as it is. In the training ground 7, a 21-year-old Minato can be seen with the group of 3 genin. One is a boy with spiky gray hair and onyx eyes wearing a dark blue mask that covers half of his face. This boy is none other than Kakashi Hatake. Next is a girl with short brown hair and brown eyes. She had purple marking on each of her cheeks. This girl is Rin Noera. Next to her is a boy with spiky raven hair and onyx eyes who also wears orange goggle. His name is Obito Uchiha. Minato looked at his students in fondness and said, "All right, let's start with the introduction. Name, birthday, like, dislike, hobbies, dreams. I will start first, then one on my left will continue, okay?" He got nod in answer. He smile and start his introduction. "My name is Minato Namikaze Minato, I am 21 year old. My birthday is January 25th. I like my family, foxes, my mother's cooking, spending time with my girlfriends and creating new jutsu. Dislike someone looking down on my clan, rapist, someone tried to snatch my girlfriends away while we are on date, and someone interrupt my sealing progress. Hobbies are training, cooking with my mom, gardening, spending time with my girlfriends and experimenting on my sealing skills. My dream is to succeed my father and become Hokage." When he done, he motioned Obito, who is on his left, to begin, so Obito start his introduction. Time skip. "Good work everyone," state Minato with satisfied smile. 3 genin that is in front of him are panting hard. Even Kakashi, that have good stamina for his age, was tired. Team 7 has been doing a survival test to see their teamwork. Even though it wasn't flawless, at least they didn't fight each other for the bell. "Congratulations, you all pass. Meet me at 6 a.m. here. We will be starting our mission together as a team." "You all dismissed," instructed Minato, and he shunned Shin away to report his team passing, missing the glare coming from his students. Kakashi then said, "I swear he is like Hokage-sama when it comes to training." "You have been training with Hokage-sama before, Kakashi-kun?" asked Rin curiously. Kakashi nodded and said, "Yeah, when I was 5. He and his wives took care of me as dad was away on a mission. So when I was bored he would invite me in his training, and let me tell you, he is slave driver when it's about training." Soon they heard someone say, "I agree," as they turn around and meet with a short raven-haired onyx-eyed man clearly an Uchiha. Ryuchi nii, shout Obito when he recognized his older cousin. Ryuchi smiled at his cousin and said, "Yo. I was just passing by but I can't help but overheard about what you guys talking about Naruto-sensei's training habit. You know when I was on his genin team, he would train us until we we're off to limit. Not that I mind because all his training is paying off. But well, since your sensei is Minato, I wish you good luck. That guy has a father complex when it came to training." "Who have a father complex, said another voice behind Ryuchi, making the older Uchiha jump in fright. When he saw who was speaking he gulped. Minato is smiling but his smile didn't reach his eyes. "Hello Ryu. Fancy meeting you here. I thought you will be gone for a mission," greet Minato sweetly. I just got back on the way to report to sensei," Ryuchi replied awkwardly, to which Minato replied in same sweet tone, "Oh I see. Then I won't delay you to meet my father and make him wait. See you next time." Ryuchi then replied, "Alright. See you then," and shunshin himself to get away from scary blown. Minato just huffed at the spot where Ryuchi left when he heard someone say, "Sensei?" He turned around and see that Rin is the one that spoke, so he replied, "Yes Rin-chan," who shyly said, "Not like I don't want you here, but why you are here? Do you have something to tell us?" as she and her fellow teammate look at their sensei expectantly. Realizing why he came back after reporting, he scratched the back of his head. Right. Since you guys passed, how about we go somewhere to eat and celebrate, suggested Minato. The three look at each other then shrugged, indicating that they accept the offer. Then let's go, I know a good place, Minato said happily. Before he managed to take his step out, something or more like someone crashed into him. Nichan/Aniki. Yoa? 2 5-year-old and 2 7-year-old children landed on his torso, making him groan in pain, while Kakashi, Rin, Obito was dumbfounded at sudden assault. Ichika, Lily, Erasure, Natsu. How many times do I have to tell you don't go running around far away from me? What if you guys hurt someone or got hurt? The three genin heard the shout from where a girl who is clearly older than them by at least 5 years came towards them looking angry. Kakashi looked at the newcomer in mild surprise when he saw a familiar face and said, "Sarah-chan." The said girl turned around and saw him and his team. "Oh hello Kakashi-kun. Long time no see," greet him warmly. Kakashi casually walked toward her casually and give her a nice smile, shocking his teammates that never seen him shows emotion before. "Yeah, me too. So I guess the younger two bumped into sensei are Shizuka Oba's twins and the other two are the child of Sumi Oba's and Mira Oba's," said Kakashi, earning a sigh from Sarah, who then said, "Yeah, they are handful sometimes." While the two are talking, Minato sat up with all 4 children still top of him. He looked at his 4 youngest siblings and can't help but smile fondly at them. Natsu Namikaze, Lily Namikaze are the twins that Shizuka had given birth to, though she was surprised and overjoyed that she gave birth to a son but confused how this is possible, but leave that thought because she is happy to have both her children, while Erasure is Sumi's son and Ichika is Myra's daughter. Between the twins, Natsu has inherited his mother raven hair and father's blue eyes, while Lily inherited her father blown hair and her mother's eye, while both Erasure and Ichika inherited their mother's hair and father's eye, and all of them has whisker mark on their cheeks, making them adorable, and Minato dote them with affection and attention. "Hey you 4. What are you doing out here?" asked Minato fondly. The 4 children grinned at their older brother. "They want to meet your team, so I took them outside rather letting them do some chaos in the house and make Kaa-chan mad from the mess," explained Izumi as she is done conversing with Kakashi. Minato hummed at that and ruffled their hair, making it a mess. Natsu and Erasure don't mind, but Lily and Ichika were pouting because he messed with their hair. "Aniki, we are hungry, can we get some dango?" asked Natsu, with Ichika nodding her head, but Lily interjected them and said, "No, I want ramen," with Erasure agreeing with her, and like that 4 children started to bicker among themselves, with Minato not knowing how to break them. Soon they heard a loud clap that startled them, so they turned to the source of sound and see Sarah with calm expression. She then said, "Alright you 4. We won't be having that for now. We will eat what Nii-chan would buy for us and accept it in gratitude, understood?" The twins nodded in understand, earning a nod of approval from Sarah, who then said, "Good. Now don't you think you should introduce yourself," as she gestured to 3 genin. The 4 children nodded and walked forward. Minato smiled at how easily his little sister handled this. He can't help but feel proud at her. He then turned back to his students who didn't understand what's going on, well, mostly Obito and Rin. Kakashi looked aloof as usual since he already know them. "Rin, Obito, let me introduce you to my siblings, Sarah Namikaze. She is 18 and a jonin. She made it herself last year," said Minato as Sarah waved at them with friendly smile. Minato then said this 4 were Natsu Namikaze, Lily Namikaze, Arashir Namikaze, Ichika Namikaze. They are 5 and 7-year-old respectively. The 4 youngest Namikaze bowed at Minato's team in greeting. "We were about to go and eat. You can come if you want, but your favorite food will be in another time, but we can go and get some barbecue if you guys want," suggests Minato as he looked at his siblings. For children's eye sparkled when they heard barbecue, because after their favorite food dango/ramen they like barbecue, so when they heard they are going to get some barbecue they dash out from training ground. Sarah sighed in defeat while he chuckled in amusement, and the 2 older siblings chase after them with Minato's team followed behind. Meanwhile, in a secluded training ground, the sound of weapon clashing can be heard in the training ground, indicating someone is fighting, or more like sparring. Sending punch after punch, kick after kick, jutsu after jutsu as there was a flash of yellow and gray clashing together. It is none other than Naruto and his best friend and right-hand man Tsukumo. It's been a while they spared with each other because they copped up in the office doing paperwork, and they have been busy. Moreover, after the case with Danzo Shimura, after taking his position as Hokage, Naruto brought out the old war hawk have done under Sandame's ruling. The bandaged bastard have done so much treason in the village, like selling information about Yuzu's defense system, so the Uzumaki clan got wiped out and Kushina's loyalty would be only on Konoha. That was prevented by Naruto and Shizuka. Another is leaking information about Tsukumo and his team's mission about infiltrating IWA territory. HS objective was to make Tsukumo fail and put all blame on him for war and misery of the village. Luckily Naruto saw right through the War Hawk's plan and prevent that to happen by asking Sandame to let him join Tsukumo as his partner. The mission was success and Tsukumo was praised for saving the village. For this reason Danzo was furious and saw Naruto a threat to his plan, so tried to bring him down by dirtying his name, but it backfired completely as Naruto's kindness and generosity make Danzo failed. When Naruto took the hat he disbanded route. Danzo lost it and ordered his route to attack Naruto, but it failed as Tsukumo is Naruto's right-hand man and Naruto's power is also nothing to sneeze. Attacking the Hokage is called as treason. Danzo was publicly executed for the crime he had done in Sandame's back, and Sandame was also ashamed of this. Now in the training ground the spar is going on between 2 friends, but soon it ended as Naruto incapacitated Tsukumo and said, "I win." Tsukumo sighed and looked at his best friend in defeat and said, "Alright, you can let me go now. I know I don't have a chance with you, Naruto," to which Naruto grinned and let him off and said, "We should do this again. It's been a while we have spar like this." Tsukumo shook his head and said, "Not like I don't want to, but we have so much work, and if we slack off then I have no doubt the pile of evil will grow more than it should be, not to mention Kiyomi-san will kill us both for slacking and dumping everything on her," as both shudder at the thought of paperwork as well as Kiyomi's anger. But then Naruto lightened up and said, "Yeah, well, I can use clone, so I have no problem," earning a sigh from Tsukumo, who said, "Of course you are the only one to find out something that the previous Hokage couldn't, but that will not save you from your wife's wrath," as Naruto paled at that, earning a chuckle from Tsukumo. Soon both of them leave towards village, and as the walking through the streets while talking about mission and issue with other hidden villages. The villagers saw their Kage walking through the streets and bow to him and greet him. They do the same with Tsukumo, and the 2 greeted the villagers back politely. "How is Kei-san? Is she doing great?" asked Naruto in concern. Tsukumo just smiled fondly and said, "Yeah, she is doing great, thanks to Tsunade-san and Sumi-san. Her illness will be gone in few weeks and she will be back in good health." "That's relieved to hear. I pray for your and Kakashi-kun's happiness, said Naruto, feeling happy for his friend. Tsukumo grinned at him and said, thanks bro, and the two continued their walk. Time skip. I am home, said Naruto while taking off his sandals. Welcome home, he heard his wife Shizuka's voice and can't help but smiled fondly at her. He walked to her and gave a kiss and said, I love you. Shizuka smiled and kissed her husband back and said, I love you too. The two then took their place at living room. Naruto stretched a bit and asked, where are others? I didn't felt any other presence in the house, as he looked around to find his children or other wives. Shizuka noticed it and said, Sarah brought the 4 youngest to their brother since they were curious what kind of people is in his team and they probably with Minato right now. Kiyomi is visiting Kagami-san, Tsunade and Sumi is still working at hospital and Mira is out for buying some groceries and other 4 was having a sleepover with their friends. Naruto just hummed at the explanation and hugged his wife back and said, I am glad you are here with me Shizuka, if you are not her I would have probably screwed up. I know I will be forced to marry someone to continue my line but it will not be like how it is now because I will always guilty for betraying you. You are my wife and mother of my children and I don't know what I would do without you. Shizuka just smiled and closed her eyes while caressing his golden hair gently. She has nothing to say, only show affection. She felt glad to have Naruto by her side. She knew Naruto is tried his best to keep the peace he had achieved. His job has already been done. Naruto then broke of the hug and picked up his wife bridal style, earning a surprised look from her, but she understood what Naruto is hoping and just snuggled in his chest. Naruto then carried Shizuka to their bedroom and put silencing seal on the room and indulged themselves into lust as they made love with each other while thinking one thing, that they can live happily in this new life that they had built. The end to this story.